Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What is up, DB?
What's going down?
I'm not feeling a lot of love for our northern neighbors right now.
Yeah, I mean, how about Trudeau getting his little shot off?
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if uniquely is the word, but I do feel pretty good about being qualified to speak
on Canadian affairs
and traditions and customs.
Yeah.
And considering, at one point, we were considering the legal ramifications of dual citizenship.
Sure. Or citizenship, as normal people say it.
Yeah, whatever. Wow, already?
I mean, you coming out here with like weird pronunciations of citizenship. What am I supposed to do there?
Have you ever been to Canada?
I have not.
Like a lot of things are made up, pronunciation wise. Nah, I'm just serious. Never mind. No, I'm just playing. I did not have a good feeling, so I'm not like surprised.
So you weren't like Black Eyed Peas. You didn't have a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Even though I love, how much I love hockey.
Yep. Big hockey guy.
I'm just glad people got to experience, first of all, Sean is sensational. There's no question about that. But Shane, you're a big Razor guy, right? Ray Ferraro?
Razor Ramon.
I don't need both your idiocy at the same time. Just alternate. Tag in, tag out. One of you be Animal, one of you be Hawk.
One at a time.
No. The way you act, you're closer to the Rock and Roll Express. You're like Marty Jannetty.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know, that's why it's funny. Long
Is that
hair,
like
kind of a guy that looks like he maybe used a little comb and then sprayed it and then it stuck. And then the rest is Google Rock and Roll Express.
Is Marty Jannetty related to Ashton Jonty?
I don't think there's any way in heck they could be related to one another. No. Janty does not go from
different hairstyles,
vanilla to caramel to mocha.
I got mocha this morning.
It's all just.
I got mocha this morning.
It's all just mocha.
Just all mocha.
Somewhere down the line, you have to add some cross contaminants.
I got mocha this morning. It's better than the caramel.
So caramel's last.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. You went from
I think it's better than the vanilla, but they're close.
I know people that that's kind of like their dating history. You skip you just go from one to the other, and in the extreme, there's no caramel in the middle.
I think I went the other way.
I know you did. Well, you should have started with black first.
That's all.
Jibba jabba. No, it was hard to watch, but much like Shane said, it's the first smart thing he said in about 48 hours. It's hard to watch those international competitions when you have guys that you cheer for on both teams.
Sure.
And I'm not over the top on any Canadian except for Sid Crosby.
You love Sid Crosby or you hate Sid Crosby?
I love Sid Crosby. I do like. Now he's relatively new, so I haven't had a chance to like fall in love. But Shane, as you know, I'm a huge McCarr guy.
Yes.
And I thought him coming back last night was good for Canada. I tried to help my man St. Louis Jordan out on some underdog picks.
Yeah.
Well, he picked some he did on his own, which is fine. I mean, it's his $4, but
they can't blame you for it.
Some were tough. And I don't know if he wasn't getting the options, but he had some first period options. I nailed a couple, like I think Austin Matthews points and Crosby shots on goal. He couldn't just pick an outright winner. But I told him I thought Canada would win, and they were a slight underdog.
Were they?
Yeah. I think it was. Slight. Basically a flipper of the coin. Sure. Basically a Hellebuck. Because it was. I mean, he was the difference, I think, in why people like the USA. But it was minus 115.
Yeah.
To take us.
Take the U.S.
Yeah.
Of A.
Yeah. I have a question.
I'm listening. I may or may not have an answer.
No, you will.
Okay.
So, how do you feel about even when Americans do it? Because, sometimes people will sing the national anthem and there will be crowds or fan bases that have their thing that they do at the end of the national anthem. And or
Mhm.
when you aren't cool with the other people doing their national anthem and you kind of like low-key boo.
So, I mean, in a situation like yesterday where you've got both teams from different countries, I think you kind of have to play both anthems.
Right. No, I get that.
I mean, I guess you don't have to because you're in Boston.
No. I think you should. I think you should.
But
I
you
think
should, yeah. With like an international competition, I think you should play both of them. I know with a lot of hockey in general, since you have so many Canadians, they'll play both anthems kind of regardless of where you are.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with that. I think in general,
What's the level of respect that you feel is appropriate at a sporting event?
So, I mean, especially with a country like Canada, where, I mean, I know tariffs notwithstanding, we're generally friendly with.
Yeah, they're an ally.
Probably shouldn't be booing.
You don't think?
This isn't Soviet Union in 1980. Like, I understand booing in that circumstance, although I probably still wouldn't.
So no real rule, just kind of country specific, feel it out by the environment? Okay.
Certainly not booing your allies. I'm okay booing after the anthem. You can boo the team, but I don't know. Booing the country feels weird.
What about like if you're part of the fan base and they say, and the home of the, and then you go like,
Creighton does it. They do Jays.
Right.
The home of the Jays.
Omaha beef. That's the first one I was really familiar with. They go beef.
I honestly, I'm not mad about it. I don't love it. It feels a little weird to me.
Do you know that sometimes people sit down before the arms are off? Like you really shouldn't sit down until
the flag's
people presenting
gone.
the colors are
are out of the
yeah.
I don't have an issue.
Are you like that?
No, I don't have a huge issue with that. I do have actually an old college professor of mine that I became friends with after I left school or whatever. He's very much like you stay standing until the flags aren't or the colors aren't presented anymore.
We have a mutual friend like that.
Who?
Mr. Severe.
Well, sure, he was military.
Yep.
So that makes sense.
And that's where I got it from.
Yeah. So as far as I know,
I'm like,
yeah.
Why is he still? And he would like open hand, backhand, like your knuckles,
like, hey, stand up,
like kidney shot me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know. So I've been doing that for 20 years.
The military folks are a little different. They're wired a little different with the flag and the anthem and stuff, which I totally understand. If you sit down before the colors are gone, I'm not going to have an issue.
So you're not up in our okay. I just was curious.
Yeah. I'm fine with it. I think obviously stay standing during the anthem and all that kind of stuff.
Because the U.S. flat out got booed.
Yeah, that's a different deal to me. Like that's a different level of disrespect. There's other things like if somebody's sitting next to me during the anthem, I'm gonna probably look at them sideways. I'm probably not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people have different feelings and attachments to different parts of it.
I don't have a ton of rules.
I don't either. It's just sort of a feel thing for me. Like, does it feel disrespectful?
Right.
And if it doesn't, then I don't have a big issue with it. And if it, obviously outright booing is a different thing. That's pretty obvious. Like, I get why you wanted to fight after that.
Yeah. I just was getting
a gauge.
Your THOTSs.
I think I'm more patriotic than people would give me credit for.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of am too, even though, unfortunately, I went through a stretch in college where I didn't always feel the same about the national anthem.
Sure.
Sometimes I wouldn't even stand. It just depended on what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I'm pretty bummed over the outcome.
Yeah, I don't love it, and
U.S. just kept getting hurt.
Well, that and I don't know.
It's going to be tough without McAvoy and Kachuk.
Yeah,
I don't have nearly as good of a feel for hockey as you do, but it felt like when the U.S. was getting in overtime all those opportunities and didn't cash in, it felt almost immediate. I was like, oh, this is going to go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Like there just is that, I don't know, there's that vibe of a hockey game. You get it in a lot of different sports where it's like, hey, you're knocking on the door and you've got a ton of opportunities and you don't cash in. Like that usually comes back to bite you.
I am pretty pumped.
That's just a sports thing.
Excited that I don't see the huge disparity anymore in skill.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool.
That's encouraging for sure.
Right? I Again, this is kind of in the weeds, so it's no fun for you. But can you imagine being like 6'4" and 210, but between the pipes, doing the kind of things that goalies do?
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
Those are big dudes doing it, and all goalies are big now.
Yeah, because you used to have. I mean, I know I brought up like Ryan Miller the other day. He wasn't a big guy.
No.
Super athletic. Like,
But I mean, Hellebuck. I mean, maybe he's not average, but I bet he's close.
and he's what, 6'4"?
6'4", 210.
Yeah, like there's kind of a different level of size with the movement and at
Awful
goalie now,
athletic.
which is. I mean, I don't think that's unique to hockey, though, right? Like, we've seen that kind of across a lot of sports where just the athletic profile and the size just turns into a whole
Kind of what I was 6'2" and some change. 190 is the average.
So, yeah, he's a little above average, but not a ton. You know, he's not a huge outlier there. Like
that was 05. It's got to be bigger. Let's go to 2024.
2024.
Yeah.
Because how big is
Goalie 6'3".
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good size human right there.
Yeah, to be getting down and styles have changed too.
Yeah,
right. Kind of what you butterfly, a sprawler, or whatever.
Yeah, I don't love the because butterflies when they split, right? Yeah, I don't love the sprawlers. It feels more chaotic to me. Like a butterfly goalie, like they always seem kind of like in their spot, whereas the sprawlers makes me super nervous.
Yeah,
because was it Hasek was a sprawler? Dominic?
Yeah.
That he always made me super nervous.
and he wasn't on the cutting edge. Yeah, maybe
He was pretty early,
his
wasn't he?
Yeah,
like it,
and he was kind of more of a risk taker.
yeah, like those guys make me nervous.
Yeah.
I kind of want my guys that are just staying in their crease and in the pocket.
I used to cheer for a couple of those.
Yeah,
Yes. Stop handling the puck out in.
yeah, those
You're
guys
right.
make me nervous.
Yeah,
Like
you're not a.
I'm not a big stay in your lane guy, but I want my goalie to stay in his lane a little bit. You know,
Oh, that's cool. I'm totally a stay in my lane guy. That's why we get along.
like I don't know what it is.
Not really.
Yeah, you never get out of pocket. That's what we know about DB.
I try to stay.
I know, and I try not. You know, I'm a little out of my skis here with hockey, right? But I don't have a lot of hot takes, but the butterfly versus the sprawler thing, like it does make me super nervous. I don't love it.
Yeah, and
If you don't love it, leave
good,
it.
good for Bennington.
Yeah, because he's got a little hate.
Well, long in the tooth now.
Yeah,
He's been through some things. I mean, I didn't know how Blues fans ended up feeling out about him. I think them getting over the hump
helps a lot.
helped him.
Yeah,
But fudge. I mean, it's Canada.
He's-
I don't. Contrary to popular jokey joke,
you don't hate him.
I don't hate Canada.
Yeah, no, he was standing on his head though late.
Yeah,
I mean,
kept him.
there were some opportunities there that the U.S. probably needs to cash in on.
Yeah, I don't know if that thing where I don't know how frequent or infrequent you have to have that for us to feel the way we do about it. But it has to be special times. I don't know if you could do that all the time and get that kind of vibe.
For the Four Nations deal? Yeah, I don't know. It probably has to not be an every year thing. But if you did it every, I don't know, like third year?
I don't know. You're messing with, you might as well just have the Olympics.
I think you have to like offset it on the Olympics though, right? So maybe you do
Maybe every two.
Every 2 years you've got either an Olympics or a Four Nations.
Yeah.
And that sort of makes sense to me. But that's a pretty cool, because that's how they do. I know that soccer doesn't care about the Olympics really in men's. They do in women's. But men's soccer really doesn't care about the Olympics. But they try and stagger them. So you've got like every other cycle, you have either 2 years of Olympics, 2 years of World Cup. So you don't mess up the deal there.
I think a lot of people are like, TK, did you hear that?
Yeah, I don't care who you are. Don't boo anyone's anthem. Just cheer hard for yours.
Yeah.
I can ride with that.
I think that's how people are.
I mean, listen, there's like isolated incidents where historically I could understand booing another anthem. Like if you were an American at the 1936 Olympics.
Or where wrestling Iran before the
like there's isolated, like if you're booing the German national anthem in 1936, like I'm probably going to be okay with that.
Yeah.
But, and you know, I gave the 1980 hockey example. There's like a handful where I'm not going to be mad about it. But in general, I think he's right.
Dude,
Just mind your business during somebody else's anthem.
Shane, did you watch or listen real time to the to hockey?
I didn't get to watch it, and there was no radio broadcast, but I was able to go back through and check the highlights out.
Yeah, the Open.
The Open, yeah.
Where they used the scene from Miracle.
That was pretty awesome.
The real.
Well, they did
guys
that
in the locker room.
They showed it again before overtime, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And you know what I thought when they did that? I was like, oh, that's kind of like Shane when he has one of those good opens. And like halfway through the show, he'll go, "You want me to play that?
Oh, you want to play it again?
I'll play it again at the 9 o'clock hour." Yeah, Shane, man, you go ahead, man. You worked hard.
It was interesting, though, to see some responses to that on Twitter where they were saying, well, this isn't like 1980, though. So this is kind of not.
I mean, nothing's ever going to be like 1980 again, right? Like, that's just the deal. But
for the most part, everybody loved it, though, that intro.
I thought it was great. I thought it was cinematic. I thought it was terrific. They did a good job.
I really liked the fact that because it was, I mean, in Canada it has TSN, so I don't know what they would do for their broadcast, but I felt like we should get to do whatever whatever angle we want to.
Whatever you want to. It's your broadcast. Do whatever you want.
Yeah. Take that.
Take that, Canada, even though you got the win. Stephen Young.
I mean, that's a good pull.
Chiming in with the actually. The first big goalie.
Yeah, with Burke.
Yeah, back in 1990.
That's a good pull. I'm not mad at him over that.
Back with the Devils.
Yeah.
See, the only goalie I associate with the Devils is Martin Brodeur.
I associate Burke, I think, as a whaler.
Okay.
Because that was early. I mean, no. Was it the Flyers? I have to go back and look off the top of my dome. But yeah, it was because he was what? He's over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
I know he's like 6'4".
You know what's funny? This is a total ignorance thing on my part.
And he wasn't utilizing the big pad yet either. He was just a big guy.
It's probably a Mighty Ducks problem for me.
Well, I like the Mighty Ducks.
Me too.
Even though I never liked Emilio Estevez.
Really?
Listen.
Emilio.
I don't even know how we're going to get on this except you said Emilio Estevez.
You said Emilio Estevez. I said Mighty Ducks.
He was the one outsider I didn't like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't love.
But
I just couldn't.
He was
take
great in Young Guns, though.
No.
You're a big Rob Lowe guy?
Actually, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
He was an outsider, wasn't he?
So this is, again, just another childish moment. Kind of why I don't like Rob Pelinka.
Because he looks too much like Rob Lowe?
He gives me Rob Lowe vibes.
He does.
I know, that's I mean, listen. I'm just saying things.
He looks like if Rob Lowe had like some bad plastic surgery.
Yeah. Pelinka gives
That's
me
what
Rob Lowe vibes.
That's what Pelinka looks like. No, I get that. I don't love Matt Dillon.
Oh, my God.
There's just something about his face that I don't like.
Don't you ever. Dallas Winston was the GOAT.
No, I just mean the actor. I don't like
outside.
I don't like the actor. His face bothers me.
If you're tough like me, then you won't get hurt. Let's do it for Johnny, man. How about when he's holding the gun to the clerk's head and the outside, and the guy's mumbling on his brow, I'm so tired. I'm sick of you kids. Give me the money. Give me the money. That was, man.
We read that like
I may tear up over that.
We read that in like middle school. I'm like, what are you guys trying to teach us here?
Yeah. Movie was, no pun intended, but gold. Stay gold.
Say Golden Pony Boy.
Yeah. No brothers in that movie, but that's okay. It's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, still you know.
I can't believe I'm not a Matt Dillon guy either.
I don't like the actor.
He's fine.
It's not the character. I don't love the actor.
Shane and I would have these knockdown dragouts because, as you know, as a movie connoisseur, over guys I just couldn't get past.
Yeah.
Even, you know what I mean? It's like I don't want to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's just some guys.
I get it. There's some guys I just don't want to watch.
I just can't get into.
Yeah, I know. I definitely have like. I don't know that I keep an active list, but if I see a guy, I'm like, nope, I'm not interested.
You know who's kind of like that for me?
Who?
Samuel Jackson.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I have to try really hard.
I thought you loved Boys in the Hood.
Wow.
No. It's Lean on Me. You love Lean on Me.
Again, a different older black guy.
Not Sam Jackson.
You went Fishburne.
Morgan Freeman.
And Morgan Freeman. Not
Is that why you don't like Star Wars? Not a big Sam Jackson guy?
He was Qui-Gon Jinn, right?
No, he was Mace Windu.
Oh yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn was a bad guy.
No,
No,
Qui-Gon Jinn was a good guy. He was Liam
a good
Neeson.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it. That was your famed Phantom Menace, your favorite.
Yeah, he got.
Yeah, so
R.I.P.
Phantom Menace was Shane's favorite Star Wars.
Is that true, Shane?
No.
Yeah, Shane here for Jar.
No.
Big Jar Jar guy?
Big
No.
Shane here for Jar Jar Binks.
Shane does give a lot of Jar Jar energy, you know?
I like Empire Strikes Back. That's my favorite movie. Of all
We're
time.
not getting. I'm not getting into that with you.
Big Phantom Menace guy over there.
I'm not. He said that's when it jumped the. I almost said flew the coop.
Jump the shark.
Jumped the shark.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Steven says, I
like Natalie Portman in it, but that's about it.
I feel like she's a smidge overrated.
No, not so much.
Smidge overrated. The only Portman I like.
I think you're an outsider on that one.
Am I?
With Natalie Portman, yeah.
I mean, I get it, but no.
She kind of fits your type, too.
Dark hair.
Yeah.
Hard brown skin. Yeah, but no.
No, all right. That's fine. I mean,
plus, Padme, she was a gump. She was soft. Right? If she would have been a little stronger, Anakin wouldn't have hit the skids.
Oh, I see.
oh, don't blame Padme for Anakin's problems. He's got mommy issues. That's not it. That's not her deal.
Sins of the mommy.
Yeah, don't.
But for dudes, it's usually sins of the wounds of the father.
Yeah, I know. He's got mommy issues. Like that's not a Padme problem.
See, that's when it all started.
She inherited kind of a toxic situation, so maybe it's her fault for sticking around.
Soft kids.
I mean,
Good job.
I will say the one thing that's on Padme is when he comes back and he's like, "Hey, I murdered a whole village of women and children." Like, girl, get yourself out of that situation. You know, like we do not need to stick around when he's just like, "Hey, I just committed some mass murder," and she's like, "It's cool, boo.
It happens.
We good."
It happens.
Steven also has a type, and it's also butterfly goalies. It says sprawlers in real life are in real trouble if they give up a rebound. Butterfly goalies retain control of their bodies a little bit more. That's what I mean with sprawlers are too chaotic.
My man, boys.
There's too much going on.
It. Ken Dryden. A team that I cannot stand, but for years has had arguably the best entrance in hockey. The Montreal Canadiens. Great entrance. Great entrance.
I don't think I've seen it.
I know. It goes red and blue and it's dark and like they have a thing. I'm out on the Canadiens though. Better
or worse than the West Side Warriors entrance?
No, that's the GOAT.
Okay.
That's one time I'm like, man, just give me like one carry. I'll go. It'll be the best 1 for 4 ever. I'm gonna be embarrassed and pick myself up off the ground and be like, got that for you.
We got him. They might have to carry you off, but you got it.
Probably. It would get so competitive. Like Bo Ryan and Christian and those guys would be like, Coach, we would break your back. I'm like, are you guys nuts?
Okay, hold on. In all reality, today, if you got one carry in a high school game against, say, like a top 10 team but not a top 5 team,
okay,
and it's well blocked with your team,
yeah,
how many yards you getting?
Oh, I'll go for 12.
12?
Yeah.
All right, DB.
I'll get you 12.
DB getting you 12.
That's it.
And only one.
Don't ask for anything else.
Don't got that breakaway speed anymore?
Yeah.
You're not hitting the corner and going?
Nope. Only thing getting hit is me.
More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next. Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. I know a lot of you on your way to work. Make sure you got that seatbelt fastened and make it click. It prevents injuries and saves lives, but only if worn properly. This message is from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Got a couple interesting people chiming in the chat here.
The chat stays lit.
It does. It says, somebody in here said, one Husker fan, I think, says it really surprised me that Ravi didn't play high school ball. Thank you, I think that's a compliment. Thank you.
Did you detect a note of sarcasm?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like a pretty big guy. Like, yeah. I think people assumed I would have played high school football.
Instead of a 3-point specialist?
I know. I do not look the part of a of a 3-point specialist.
Hey, my buddy said any other black dudes Ravi wants to misidentify for Sam Jackson. We're on all the black dudes look-alike to the end of this week. Wait, is it over?
No, you got the end of next week. You got till a week from today.
Okay.
I almost threw you like, it's Sam Jackson. That's the guy in the Sandlot, right? He's the old blind guy in Sandlot.
Ravi here for James Earl Samuel Jackson Jones. Now, there's a lot of in that Jackson Jones kind of thing.
Jackson, Jones, Freeman. No.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought you were going to go with Williams and Johnson.
No.
That has crossover.
No.
Yeah.
Are you a big James Earl Jones guy?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I think when I first think James Earl Jones, I probably, if I just close James Earl Jones, I probably think Conan.
Okay. Because I go Sandlot. That's like my first Sandlot or Darth Vader.
Yeah.
But I
to destroy a planet.
see. Like I think of James Earl Jones very differently than
I'm
I do.
embarrassed to tell you when I figured out that was James Earl Jones.
Was it like last year?
I find your lack of faith.
It was in the 2000s.
That's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, if I'm just being honest.
You think a lot of people go like Coming to America with James Earl Jones?
When was Coming to America?
Mid-80s? Mid-80s, I think.
Like 86.
Are you a big Coming to America guy, Shano?
The first one, not so much the second one.
I know this is not popular, especially during February, but I don't remember Eddie Murphy being funny outside his first couple of stand-ups in Saturday Night Live.
I don't love Eddie Murphy.
I don't think he's that funny.
It's not for me.
But you like Trading Places, though?
Trading Places was hilarious. Early Eddie was sensational, but he doesn't, like some other comedian, I don't think he holds up.
Some of his jokes certainly would not be able to be told in.
Well, that's everybody. But
Yeah.
I think Richard Pryor would be funny today.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think you're right.
I think Red Fox would be funny today.
I think
He'd get kicked off stage.
I think Eddie Murphy's just like a little over the top for me. Like it's a little too much.
That's like more Kevin Hartish.
Kevin Hart's definitely a lot. But I don't know. I don't love all the, like for a stand-up comedian, I don't need all the voices and all the, like there's a lot going on. And I don't necessarily, I kind of like a more subtle, like I'm more of a Chappelle style where he's just kind of storytelling.
Big typecast guy?
What do you mean?
Well, like with actors that kind of
I don't love it, but I think it's appropriate for some actors.
Because I get some pushback sometimes from my filmographer crew. Not that there is such a thing. That I like guys like De Niro and Pacino so much.
Oh, sure, because they're kind of typecast.
Yeah, a little.
Like De Niro can do a lot more stuff. He's just not really asked to.
I didn't know he is as weird as he is too. Like,
He's old too, man. They're getting up there.
Oh, for sure.
Those guys are like deep in their 80s.
All my faves are about to leave me.
Can I say that was the one thing that I guess we're just talking about movies in this segment? The deal that I had, my big deal with. Did you ever watch The Irishman?
Boxer?
No, it was this mob movie that Scorsese put on Netflix.
No.
And it was a big deal because like De Niro and like Joe Pesci was in there.
Shocker.
And it was like, it was kind of all
Pesci was on my algorithm.
It was kind of all the old mob guys. And so they de-aged them to show some stuff when they were younger. But the problem is they still moved like they were 80. So like their faces looked young.
Mm-hmm.
There's this scene where he's beating a guy up outside of a grocery store. And not for a second do I think the 80-year-old body of Robert De Niro could beat up anybody outside of a grocery store because he's like, he looks geriatric still. He just has a young face. We need to work on that, Martin.
I just when I see, I just think certain things. Like I'm watching, I fell asleep to Reacher. Like I just binged the 3 episodes, and there's this dude in there, Quinn. He's really McCabe. Spoiler alert! If you guys,
come on, man, spoilers, jeez.
Big Reacher guy for some reason.
Yeah,
but I like this Reacher better than Tom Cruise Reacher.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to buy Tom Cruise as some of the stuff he's supposed to be doing.
But anyway, this Quinn guy, because I didn't know much about the Reacher series, so I just over the last year and a half, probably 2, went like through like the books.
Okay.
And this Quinn guy is a pretty bad dude.
Yeah, not a good guy.
Oh, the way
was that the guy you showed me?
I don't. Can I say Asian?
Yeah, he's Asian.
Okay, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, the Asian American actor. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who typically always plays a mean-spirited, bad.
He does. He plays like an Asian gangster in almost everything I've ever seen him in.
But this time, he was military in the
okay.
Reacher series.
Yeah.
And what he did to Reachers, why Reachers really mad at him is mortifying.
Better or more mortifying or less than why Keanu's mad in all the John Wick series?
Significantly worse.
Oh. Whew. And you're saying that to me as a dog person?
Yes.
Okay. That's bad news then.
Yeah. Significantly worse.
Oof.
Google. No. Yeah. Just go something like what happened to Dominique Cole or Quinn killing Lieutenant Cole.
Okay.
And I think the book is Persuader.
All right. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
In a break.
Not give yourself about 10
Need a minute.
days.
Maybe it'll be a weekend deal.
Tough.
Bunch of people chimed in. They think of Field of Dreams first when they think of James Earl Jones.
I'm not watching that movie ever.
Yeah.
And I missed it the first time around, and I'm not going back to get it.
I'm with you on Conan.
Can I have an unpopular opinion here?
Snake King. What?
I think Field of Dreams is overrated.
I'm not a fan.
It's only okay. I don't know.
And I say that knowing full well I haven't even watched it, so I mean, throw the tomatoes at me.
I've watched it a couple times.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't think I can regroup. I mean, my dad was my best friend.
Yeah, for sure.
And once I figured out what it was about, I was too old to go back and get it.
Yeah, you're not gonna go back and get that for sure, and you probably shouldn't.
And I missed it the first time. You know what I mean? The first 15 years.
And maybe I would feel differently, But,
and I know I didn't see Godfather until 2020 maybe, which is awful.
It is. I'm glad you went. Wait,
it was during COVID.
the movie's awful?
No.
Awful that you missed it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, hold on. I will stop the entire show.
But I have a good reason.
Why is that?
I sometimes I struggle. It's why I was scared to get into Game of Thrones.
Why is that?
I don't like watching things where I feel like I need. How did I used to describe it, Liquid? Like when you don't know the lineage.
Oh, you need like backstory?
Yeah, or in whose family is with whose family. And,
So I don't think you need that with Godfather. Like I think they're pretty good about.
I felt like. I felt like I was getting lost early. It's why I never went back to Pulp Fiction.
Oh, sure.
Now I've evolved.
Yeah.
From like Neanderthal to like
Cro-Magnon.
Yeah. So I can hang in there better.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that now, but it used to be a deterrent. I just used to want to just tell me the story.
Yeah. Well, you got to
figure
creative storytelling. Got to weave it in there. We also, TK says he thinks Eddie Murphy has a lot of young fans because of Donkey from Shrek.
That's not true.
He started doing kids movies, like kids type.
Is he being serious?
I think he is. Like kids love Shrek.
Yeah, Shrek is fine, but I don't think that's why people like.
I think if there's a younger generation that likes Eddie Murphy, I think it's maybe not Shrek specifically. I think it is a lot of those. He started like Haunted Mansion. I think was him.
I'm Eddie Murphy. Like
he
so
started
I
doing.
Kicked him in the ding ding.
So you're not like Nutty Professor.
Janet Jackson was very cute in that movie, and so is Jada Pinkett in too.
I thought you.
And so were the funny dinner scenes, but I'm not really a Nutty Professor guy.
So I think that's why a lot of younger people like because he started doing kids. Doolittle, like think he was a
Doolittle guy.
Yeah, he was Dr. Doolittle. Like think he was he a flubber? I think he was flubber.
No, that was Robin Williams.
Was it?
I actually watched that. I've watched a lot of bad.
I thought you were going to go with it. Now,
bad movie.
Now I got to cut you.
Great movie.
Which one's that?
Boomerang.
I don't think I've seen that one.
No, that was Harlem Nights.
Still have not seen that one.
Boomerang was good too.
I do think
Harlem Nights was a fantastic. They had all my favorites: Richard Pryor, Red Fox, kind of earlier Eddie, but Eddie was a fake tough guy in that one.
Yeah.
Bad Arsenio Hall.
Has there been like a bigger career change from where Eddie Murphy started and the type of comedy he did to like
Kill My Landlord,
children's
Kill My
movies?
Landlord, Kill My Landlord. Like, Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood was arguably I get it, Man Down by the River, and I think Word Association was number one of the top SNL skits. Which guess who was in it? This way predates you. This is I was 1 year old. So I didn't see this until later.
Which one was that?
Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor is a custodial guy applying for a job. And he'd pass the test
I've
with
seen this
flying
clip.
colors, and they do word association.
I've seen this clip.
I still can't believe that was number 1.
So one of them that I saw was number 1 was the James Brown hot tub.
Oh, yeah. Hot tub.
Which is...
I'll get in the hot tub. Hot tub.
James likes a vampire.
That's pretty good, Eddie, right?
That was a pretty good...
So
it was a pretty good...
I'm okay, like, just quickly going into character. If I have to think about it, it's going to be
It was a pretty good Eddie doing James Brown.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty good.
And then he did the little skirmy, and he put the foot in. And I used to wonder when I watched, I was like, ooh, is that real water? And then we took the robe off the second time, and he got all the way in. I was like, oh, it is real water. Hot tub. Get it in the hot tub.
Apparently, I'm thinking of Norbert, not Flubber. So,
Yeah, Flubber was Robin Williams. I don't know how you could confuse Robin Williams.
Oh, they're both comedians from the 80s.
Well, the one thing I didn't like, that Eddie did was it's the whole like let's do like 19 different characters in one movie. I think he kind of took that
Yeah,
and kind of stretched that a little bit too
he
far.
should have sent that. He should have sent that memo to sorry Tyler Perry.
I mean, it was Eddie Murphy and Three's Company, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, that's Robin Williams. See, I get him confused.
It wasn't Robin Williams.
Robin Williams in Three's Company, wasn't it?
Jack Ritter.
Jack Ritter.
John Ritter.
John Ritter.
Him too.
Jack
the Ripper.
Jack
Mork
Tripper.
and Mindy. That's Robin Williams.
Good.
Or is it Eddie Murphy?
No, they were all white.
More Hurrdat Sports Radio coming up next. Eddie Murphy's not white. Wrapping up hour number 1 here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We're here on the Pillar Exterior stage.
I didn't even go get my ice.
Yeah, you got to go get that ice, man.
Well, you wouldn't let me out of my seatbelt.
I didn't do anything.
You made me sit here.
No, that's in your car for the seatbelt. You don't have to be seatbelt when you're inside.
Oh,
Did I confuse you with the NDOT?
yes.
Well, I'm hoping not going to confuse you with the Supernovas. Get to supernovas.com. Get your tickets. They are back at CHI next week on Thursday. Got another win out in San Diego last night. Make sure you get over to supernovas.com and get your tickets. They got 50,000 people through 4 matches. Let's keep that energy going.
Did you see our sit down with Coach Bird or with Bird?
Yeah.
What gym was that? Was that at St. Mary?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
They practice over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice little sit down.
Yeah. We love Coach Bird.
I like her voice.
She does. She's got a great radio voice.
Raspy and
Or podcast voice, as it were.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, that's better than me.
Yeah, but still, you know.
That's doing too much.
No, that's our guy. That's Arthur, right? Art?
Yeah, my mom. She asked me if I talked to him lately. I need to check on my man.
We need to track.
I call him, but his cell phone picks up on the first ring, which is never a good sign. But I think I do have his home number.
We need to check in on our guy Art.
I've never been a fan of Laverne James. I said, shoot, me neither, Art. Me neither.
You're a big Laverne James guy.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think so too. But still, you know, I'm not a LeBron James fan.
That guy's. Now we have some GOAT callers.
Yeah.
He's in the top 5.
Oh, 100%.
He's in the top 5.
We love Art. Always appreciate.
I wish there's one guy I wish we could find.
Who?
And we never found him. I used to do a show after Nebraska games. And Shane, do we ever figure out what happened to Buck Nasty?
No.
Buck Nasty was the guy that used to call.
Is that his government name?
I highly doubt that's on his birth certificate.
That's his Christian name?
Sorry, I was a little February-ish. His birth certificate. Did I say that?
I don't know.
I hope not. I'm sorry.
You said it was a little February? Like the cold made you mispronounce, or?
Thank you. My jaw was a little frozen.
Little toy?
Damn it.
Sounds like you need to stay out of the hot tub.
You got that? Hot tub. I'm going to get in a hot tub. I'm gonna stop. I assume at some point. I mean, we're here to entertain, right? I mean, what difference does it make? TK is like swearing on his life.
Much like Maximus. Are you not entertained?
That will never not be funny. Big Rick James. I pulled a Ravi. Not Rick James. Little Richard guy. Wow.
See, it can happen. Can happen to anybody.
Yeah, whatever. Can I ask you a sports question?
Sure, why not?
Oh, by the way,
he's very flashy in that video for getting into a hot tub.
Yeah, for the longest time as a kid, I wondered it the whole time if that water was real. And by the way, I had to kind of sneak and watch that because the big TV was downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my room is
All the way up.
Yeah, I mean it's a little split level, and you got to go downstairs.
Yep.
I'm like, ooh,
nothing can stop me. I'm all the way
I would
up.
ever look for is to see if I could see any light under the crack of their door.
See if they were awake.
Yeah, but it was a game, man, because the hallway was carpeted. So it didn't
would like block it.
Yeah,
There's a little window.
yeah. I would put my little beady fingers under there and kind of pull it down, move it out of the way to see if I could see.
They probably knew, right?
Nah, heck no.
Yeah.
No, my dad was a snorer. I could hear.
You should be your mom probably
It's
saw
my
it.
mom I was worried about.
Probably saw his little fingers under there and be like, what are we doing?
Mosey on downstairs. What are you doing? Get in the bed. Okay.
Are you kidding me?
No, actually, I'm not.
You want to ask me a sports question?
I am in a second, but then he thinks you'd like life. Life is fantastic. It's a great movie.
Like being alive? Yeah, it's not bad.
No, the movie.
Oh.
Even though I'm not an early Martin Lawrence guy. I'm not an old Martin Lawrence guy.
You're like a In Living Color guy.
I did like In Living Color.
Yeah.
Yeah, big Homie the Clown fan.
Yeah.
Homie don't play that. I want one of those little things that he would hit people with. Because it seemed like it would do the trick, but not really hurt you. I want to do that when people say dumb things. I'd be like, Phew.
I'm glad you don't have one of those because I feel like you try to hit me a lot.
You seem like you'd be a big Jingling fan.
I don't know what that means.
Google the character Jingling in life. That would be right up your alley.
How you spell J?
About how it sounds.
Jangling or jingling?
That's kind of the play on the words. They would say Jangalang. Jangalang.
Okay, here we go. We'll find it.
And it's not because of his character. I know people will be laughing. It's probably more just because it's Bernie Mac.
Oh, I'm a big Bernie Mac guy.
Yeah, you have some Jangalang in you.
I don't even know what that means.
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac or Benny Mac?
I missed that guy. He's got to leave again.
Yeah, he's got to get out to Louisiana. They're probably there already.
Yeah, they're there.
They got to be there already. They play tonight. They better be there.
Oh, and he's an hour ahead. I should hit him up. See how my man is doing. But yeah, my sports question is: we're sure that Maryland's pretty good now, and you're sure that Ohio State is not?
Yes.
I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I think that's fair. I think that's right.
Okay.
I was less sure on Ohio State. I was less in on Ohio State being good than you were because you thought they might be.
I left myself open to be swayed.
Yeah, I wasn't really buying that. Maryland is pretty good.
Okay.
I've been impressed with Maryland for a few weeks
because
now.
they're not. I think people think of them as an afterthought. The way that they're built, is a problem.
You got good guard play and you have the dynamic big,
and they shoot it well enough from three,
and they can go kind of double bigs on you.
Yep. With Reese and Queen.
Yeah, that's not a lot of people are like the thing that everybody likes about Michigan, right? Is a tough matchup with the two bigs and whatever. Like Maryland can do the same thing.
And they don't turn the ball over as much.
And do you like Maryland's guards better than Michigan's?
I do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you go.
Oh, I'll take Rice and
everything you like about Michigan
and Jacoby over. I mean, who is my backcourt for Michigan?
Everything you like about Michigan, Maryland's better in those things, right? Like that's. So if you like Michigan, you have to like Maryland
the two
more.
Towers, I would still say slight advantage.
You think so?
I think Wolf is more consistent than Reese.
Fair. More consistent than Reese, yes. But I think
maybe a little higher ceiling, though.
I think I take Queen over Wolf, though.
I would take Queen over Golden.
For sure.
I mean, Golden having to play away from the basket, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But Maryland's good.
Yeah, they are.
And they're sort of, I mean, we can get into this probably next week, but they're sort of an outlier with, I've been doing deep dive this week on how college basketball teams are constructed because I've been looking at the NBA draft stuff and the mock drafts, style of play and sort of the recruiting philosophies. And just as like a little teaser, I think you have to get to pick 17 before you have a guy that in most mock drafts. So like post lottery, before you get to a guy that is not international or a true freshman in the draft,
Oh, that's tough.
So, but to get a multiple-year college guy, you have to get into basically the last third of the first round.
And that includes guys like Janai Broom.
Yeah. That includes Jedi Broom. Obviously, it includes like a Ryan Kalkbrenner, who is late first, early second in most drafts.
How soon? What was the earliest
That
you
includes
saw?
a Wolf.
What was the soonest you saw Broom?
Right around that range. He was one of the first upperclassmen off. Yeah, but some people have him a little lower than that. Some people have him in like that 24-ish range.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that people know what to do with him, and I'm not totally sure why. But this is something because we're going to talk to Tim Verghese here in a second. But this is something that I do want to get into at some point over the next week or so. Like I think there's starting to be a bigger and bigger gap between what NBA evaluators want and what wins in college basketball. And at some point, like there's going to be a reckoning about
I like that term.
There's going to be a come to Jesus moment about how you put a basketball roster together in college.
And this is on the heels of guys like Rick Pitino taking the podium.
Yeah.
We're not even looking at high school guys this year. Like we're done. I lose this, and this. I'm not replacing those with high school guys. And I was just like, I guess you can get away with saying that out loud if you're Richard.
That's
his son.
He is a Richard. Rick. Oh no, yeah, he's Rick.
You can't say. Well, you can say anything now. My bad.
Who can say what you want? You think he ever goes by Dick Pitino? I don't know. Tim Verghese coming up next on Sports Live.
The D.
We're back here at Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We are joined now by our friend Tim Verghese from Inside Nebraska. Tim, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
TV, how are we doing, bud? You staying warm?
Yeah, trying to. I think the weekend and next week's temperatures can't get here fast enough.
Yeah, I'm such a Denny Downer. It's like all I can think of next week with warm weather is my dogs tracking in mud. That's how old people think. It's like, oh damn.
You want to know something funny?
I gotta clean up after these.
I redid a large section of my backyard to avoid that specific issue. Like I'm not. It's the most middle-aged thing I've ever done in my life. I replaced a bunch of grass with rocks.
Hey guys, go over there. Go over there. Yeah, that's what I'm. That and I'll be a good cook again because I can go back outside. So that's about the only two things I'm looking forward to.
That's what you have to look forward to in 15 to 20 years, TV.
Shane and Ravi are thinking flip flops, cargo shorts, and tank tops. That's how they do it. In that order, right? How many pockets you got in those cargo shorts?
I'm just trying to get on the boat, man. I don't know.
TV, how's it been, man? You're trying to keep up with a bunch of young guys, man. These guys, I guess it's ABR now, always be recruiting for this staff?
Yeah, it makes sense. But, yeah, it's been, it's just kind of one of those, this month specifically, it kind of feels like, okay, board's rounding into form, shaping into form specifically at positions where, it's a bit of a turnover. Marcus Satterfield's taking over tight ends full time. He's kind of adjusting the board to him and Dana Holgerson's vision. Addison Williams, of course, and then Tequila Shores. And so, Terry Brad's getting comfortable too. So, yeah, it's a month of just kind of board getting set. And I think as we get into March, I think we're going to have a better idea of who Nebraska's after at each position and who the true top targets are. Because right now, at a few positions, it's a little murky, but I think it's going to start to separate itself once we get into some of these spring visits.
Tim, yeah, so when do you typically see that narrowing down? Because I'll see, I follow you obviously and see all the offers that go out. I'm thinking specifically about quarterbacks. Sometimes it feels like they sort of do a shotgun spray of offers to a bunch of different guys. Like at what point, how much of it is Nebraska or whatever program sort of narrowing down their focus, and how much of it is the players sort of narrowing down the teams they're interested in?
Yeah, I mean, besides the quarterback position, you want to have an idea on everything else. Ideally, the summer before their senior year. So for the 26s, ideally heading into May, you want Nebraska to have a pretty concrete board of okay, these are the guys we love at each position. These are the guys we want to official visit. These are the guys we'd like to earn an official visit from. And these are the guys, potentially down the line. Like, if we miss out on a target or two, this is who we want to push up. Quarterback, the cycle's so accelerated. Like, I mean, the Nebraska's top 27 guy, Trey Taylor, obviously announced his top 5 a couple weeks ago. Nebraska's at the top of that top 5. Nebraska's like, it's right up there with Illinois and Michigan. I think it's those 3, and then Texas A&M's in the mix, Georgia's in the mix, Notre Dame. But I think Nebraska's the very top there, and he's a guy that's aiming for a summer decision. So, if it does end up going Nebraska's way, hypothetically, there are 27 quarterbacks in the boat before he really even starts his junior season. So that's where we're at in terms of quarterback timelines, and Taylor's not the only one. I mean, that's the guy at the top of Nebraska's board, but you look across the cycle and who Nebraska's looking at, I think they're going to get their 27 quarterback in, before the end of this calendar year.
So, Tim, we were talking earlier about, Rick Pitino's out there saying things like, I'm not going to go out and recruit freshmen. I got to replace X, Y, and Z. Why would I try and get like an 18-year-old to do that? It seems like some programs, especially the quarterback spot, have started to take a similar sort of point of view. If you're, Miami certainly is just like, why would I go recruit a freshman quarterback? Go get, Norvell.
Michigan finally just broke the trend kind of investing in a freshman.
Yeah, like how much have you seen that sort of shift, and how is that impacting some of these younger classmen that are trying to make these decisions, like a Taylor who, maybe some teams that normally would be involved aren't as involved as they typically would be, or is that just sort of an anecdotal thing and that's not really how it's playing out?
It just depends on the like honestly, I think it just depends because for some of these programs too, like a Miami, Notre Dame, for example, last year went out and got Riley Leonard because they needed a guy for this season, but they have a pretty solid group of quarterbacks moving forward. So for some of these teams, they're like, they're going to do the transfer. Like Miami, they have to go back to the transfer portal because they haven't found a multi-year guy. They didn't find a multi-year guy behind Cam Ward. But, their goal is, in this cycle or next cycle is to find a high school guy because I think all these schools recognize, even with the success of the transfer portal and the ability to level up a quarterback there, you're getting maximum 2 years out of a transfer portal quarterback typically. So you want a guy you can get 3 years out of. So a lot of these schools, even if they go out and get a immediate transfer contributor, they're also going into the high school recruiting rankings and taking a swing on a quarterback. Like because of just the scholarship differences in basketball and football, I think you're going to see teams address quarterback through both. Like Nebraska, I think is not necessarily a trendsetter here, but I think you're just going to see it's going to be more and more common where Nebraska has an established starting quarterback, went out and added a quarterback through the high school ranks, and in the transfer portal went out and added another guy too. I'm not saying that's going to be a year in, year out thing, but stuff like that is going to become more common just because in order to build depth, you have to do it through different ways. And so for Nebraska moving forward, 26 is probably just going to be Dayton Raiola, but 2027, I could see either 2 high school targets, I could see a high school player and a transfer portal. There's multiple ways they could address quarterback in 27 that wouldn't surprise me at this
TV. So it's interesting because if you're still operating under the guise or the terms, not guys, it's not really an illusion, but I do think it is a developmental program and they want to be a developmental program. I also think Coach Rule is playing the long game. If it goes well, certainly the length of the contract. If you're operating like that, could you see a way where the 105 helps you where they seem to be pretty good at supplementing without supplanting high school for ready-mades?
Somewhat in the sense that I think you have to be more efficient and you can't take these swings like you use. Obviously you can build out these rosters, through both. Again, I think the 105, I get what you're saying in the sense that I think it can help just in the sense that
it gives a framework, right?
Right, yeah, and you have to kind of, the fat's going to be trimmed, and so it's going to be it's going to be run as efficiently as possible. But I think if you were to ask the staff and you were to ask people, I don't think they want the 105 limit working against them. I'll say this too. We're just talking like 105 limit, and again, 105 moving forward won't have these issues necessarily, but as we're currently speaking, like the 105 limit is currently preventing Nebraska from doing some things at the high school level I think they probably would have done. I mean, I just put out a story this morning, but Darian Jones, 2026, athlete out of Omaha North, Donovan Jones' little brother.
Darian, yeah.
You go and watch his junior film and some of the stuff he's done on the 7-on-7 trail. That guy probably already has an offer for the 105.
Yeah, he's legit. He is no disrespect to Donovan, but his upside, and he's mean spirited too, Tim. So I love him. And I've been talking about for a while.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, TV.
Yeah.
You know what box he really checks, Darian? Competitive stamina. You talk about somebody that needs no babysitter, and goes to get it. It's Darian Jones.
Yeah, and again, for the people that are unfamiliar, I mean, again, you're talking competitive. He contributed on all three sides of the ball this year. He led his team in receiving, had over 700 receiving yards. He led his team in interceptions. He had 8, and he had over 400 return yards, both as a kick returner and a punt returner. He contributed in the game in all three ways. I think the biggest thing for me watching him this junior season, the evolution of his eyes and his instincts as a defender from game one to the playoffs is remarkable. And Donovan picked up his offer before his senior season, that summer before. I think there's a chance Darian could. And like you said, I think his ceiling's higher too, because I think he's got a bigger frame. And I think he's developing at a faster rate than his brother did at the same point in their high school career.
Tim, it's interesting. We're talking about, the difference between Donovan and Darian and sort of the limits of the 105. It seemed really important to Coach Rule and staff early on to give Nebraska kids opportunities to play for the University of Nebraska. How much do you think that's going to be impacted, or do you think they're still going to go out of their way if they see potential in a kid like Darian to try and make sure they have a chance to play at the university? Because I think that's one of the things that really connected this staff to the state early on. And I just wonder how much they're going to have to sacrifice that with the roster limit.
Yeah, there's going to be some of that. I mean, all of these offers are going to have to be earned. That's the thing. A Darian Jones, again, to me, you look at the athletic profile across everything, and you think early Rule, the first year of Rule, or even this time last year, Nebraska probably has already offered.
Yeah,
and
I think the same thing for Bryson Williams, right? Legacy, great player. Ton of room for growth. I mean, Bryson is
incredible frame.
Yeah, Bryson's going to be way good.
Yeah. And so that's that's the thing too. Again, a guy like Williams too. I mean, Williams at the very least has a PWO and is they're hey, we're gonna develop you. We're gonna work. You know what I mean? And there's a conversation there. But yeah, I completely agree. I think right now, unfortunately, it's going to be limited moving forward. And Jones, it's hey, I put in my story, but Nebraska's going to pay close attention to what he does on the track this year. They're going to pay close attention to 7-on-7. He's probably going to camp at the university this summer, and that could be the piece to him earning that offer. And in a way, the production of guys on campus too, like Donovan having a good spring and potentially, earning serious playing time in the secondary could be that additional boost of confidence that Addison Williams and John Butler need to extend an offer to Darian. But that's where we're at. Again, previously, I think Darian already has an offer. We're at a point where, okay, how is he going to earn an offer now? Even with, a Minnesota saying, okay, Darian Jones, you're good enough to play for
Iowa State.
Scholarship. Yep, Iowa State as well. All of these programs, and then you've got Nebraska. Okay, yeah, we're waiting because of the 105 roster limit, we can't really take the swing offer on a guy we're not 100% sure about. I'd be sure on him, but I understand Nebraska not being 100% sure. They are a little, hesitant on in-state DBs, as we've seen in 26 with Amarian Jackson and Caprice Keith. So I understand it, but I mean, at this point, I think he'd have an offer, and the only reason he doesn't is this 105 roster limit. Yeah, so yeah, it's going to have to be earned moving forward, really, really earned, I would say, moving forward.
TV, if you were going to make and I want to, factor in everything, right? fiscal savvy, the going rate per position, you know, everything. What's one or two positions that you would not compromise growing old with, right? Where you would be very leery to just kind of do the portal thing?
So you mean like which one you would just primarily rely on high school recruiting?
Yeah, which would you not compromise?
I would say if you could, again, if this is hypothetical and you're picking it for yourself, I would say offensive line
Me too.
Safety, because offensive line, like here's the thing, offensive line one, it's just incredibly hard to rebuild an offensive line through the high school, through the transfer portal, and even when you're a team like Nebraska, I mean we saw it this offseason. Your team like Nebraska that has money to spend and can throw money around was after multiple offensive linemen. They ultimately ended up with two portal guys, two guys that will one guy for sure in Rocco Spindle that's probably going to start. Another in Elijah Pritchett that you are taking a bit of a swing on, but you understand, the upside there. But that's the thing. It's a guy with upside you're taking a swing on. It's not a proven guy. It's tough to find these proven tackles. And hypothetically, and I just personally believe this too, with offensive linemen, you want to train those guys together for multiple years before you put them on the field. Like, I want to be building offensive line the way Notre Dame has built offensive line through the last couple of years, where we're stacking these recruiting classes on top of each other to the point that, okay, we can make a national championship run. If we have 3 starting offensive linemen go down, we have 3 juniors and seniors ready to step up and play behind them. Ideally, that's how you want to build out the offensive line. And the other side, I would say safety, not defensive line, only because I think the growing importance of safety at the college level. You look at the college football playoff this year.
I agree.
You look at, where some of these teams are investing the most in. Having an enforcer safety is important, and you don't get an enforcer safety without developing those guys for multiple years. And those guys also don't come easy necessarily through the high school portal. Through the transfer portal. Caleb Downs, was one of the top guys just pound for pound in the portal last cycle, is going to go to a power program. If you're Nebraska at this point, or if any school, if I'm starting my own, I want to find a guy with the traits of a dominating, like, top-end safety. Like
a lot of those guys, they fizzle, man. It's a hard position to play if they're just dropped in your lap.
Yep.
And it is.
Yep.
Like, it's because there's so much. It's a philosophy thing. Sometimes it's a technique. Are you a bail? Are you a trail? Are you a press? Are you a mugger? Like, that's a good. I'm glad you just didn't take the easy one, like D-line, right? Because I think safety. I'm 100% with you. Like, it probably would have been what I said, and it's very important.
Right, exactly, and I think it's a difference between some of these teams going from good to great is having at least one elite safety that could do a couple of different things, and like you mentioned, like you want to be able to grow old with a safety specifically because. So much of it is you want them to figure it out. You can't just drop them in there. But 2, your defense has to kind of adjust to that guy. Like that guy is like a Caleb Downs. Think about his impact game to game. You game plan around, okay, who's Caleb Downs on this game? How are we going to build this defense around Caleb Downs? When you're building out that position specifically, and I'm not saying every elite safety is going to be Caleb Downs caliber, but you have to have Xavier Watts better. Like, even Notre Dame, they had to build every game plan around, okay, who are we going to task Xavier Watts with covering this week? And so as you look at this moving forward, that's just a position I want to invest in at a young age and, take swings. I think Nebraska is doing that right now. I think you have a couple of these safety bodies in there now that could be that type of enforcer down the line, and you're just developing all of them to see which one pops faster.
Yeah.
Tim, okay, so I kind of, this is hypothetical, might be a little difficult to answer, but kind of playing this logically down the line a little bit, how much different would Nebraska's defense have looked last year if you replaced what I consider average safety play with Gifford and Singleton with, say, an NFL caliber, let's say first 3-round type of talent at one of those spots? Like how does that look differently in your mind?
Yeah, I feel like, okay, right now we look at statistically, Nebraska finished as a top 25, 30-ish defense overall. I think with a true, like, again, we talk, like, so much of the issues this year defensively were just a lack of athleticism at times in the back end. Like having a true NFL caliber guy back there, I mean, that elevates you to, top 20 plus. Like, you feel like it's a top 20 defense. You feel like it's a top 15 defense. Like, they play like that. And the biggest thing about having, again, an NFL caliber safety back there, beyond, and you're talking about Nebraska specifically, beyond the help it would have given them when they gave up some of those explosives in the pass game, some of those run fits and some of those explosive runs came because of safety play or second and third level, specifically defensive play. When you get an elite type safety, NFL caliber type safety at this point in where we're at in the sport, those guys have to be able to fit the run at the second level, not just the third level. And that would have helped Nebraska a lot to have an NFL caliber guy that can fit the run at the second level and help out the front a little bit.
Yep. Wow. That's pretty good. And it doesn't even have to, and I get the NFL caliber is the extreme. I would think just steady and capable. Like if you're just steady and capable, because those guys will eventually find their way to add value to a roster, right? I look at Lake at UCLA, and he's playing for the Rams, and he wasn't a guy when you watched him play where you're thinking, yep, I'm immediately thinking Sunday guy. He's a 6th-round draft pick, but he could play multiple positions. And why do the Rams play him? Not just because he's smart, but it's because his physicality playing a nickel in the secondary, because he doesn't hurt you in the run game either. Like, just be capable. Be capable in an odd front, making tackles at the second level. If you could just do that, imagine how much different. I mean, Iowa doesn't pop a long run 2 years ago in overtime if you just make a tackle at the second level, right? Like, it's just
right.
And you didn't need to be. It didn't need to even be anything Herculean. Just get your little behind in the right fit, and we're good. I like NFL is the extreme. You always want that, but just be capable.
Right. Right. Yeah. And be willing. Yeah. Be capable and be willing. And that's like at this point too, when I'm scouting DBs more than ever,
don't turn down tackles.
Now. Yeah. Come down tackle. And also like, I'm looking for your ability to kind of play out of that nickel position, be physical, like I contribute to the run fit. Like you can't, if you want to be this elite type guy, you can't just be this like true cover corner that every now and then comes down and snuffs out a screen or an outside run. Like you have to be able to fit the run and understand run fits to an extent now. If you want to be one of those versatile safety types, which is growing in value, like the Brian Branch types, the Kyle Hamilton types. It's these versatile safeties that do 4 or 5 different things across the secondary.
Even a guy like Sanistrell, part of his value is his physicality.
Yeah.
It's like these offensive minds are so smart. Number one, they're going to do the obvious and count guys in the box, right? 6 versus 7 versus 8. You're going to have auto checks. You go small and light. They're going to think, okay, we're going to run the ball. That's how the game is played now. So you have to be capable and, as you'd say, which is a better word, willing to come from the third level to the second level. That's how all the functional defenses work. How many times do you watch these good teams TV and you think, man, that play was drawn up pretty well. That's a heck of an open field tackle, or God, that's a really good play. That play could have. We saw it happen to Nebraska several times, and we got mad at the running backs. Right? It's like, I mean, I'm not misremembering Holgerson's press conference, right? It's like, yeah, we're out in space. You got to make that guy miss. And it's like, that's what it looks like when it doesn't. That's what happens when it doesn't happen the other way.
Yeah, when somebody is in the run fit and willing and capable.
Texas did it to Georgia. You see it a lot with good teams. I mean, that's why guys like D. Milner and some of these guys bust in the secondary because, and I mean, Akuda couldn't stay healthy, but some of these guys that aren't willing, and conversely, guys like Delpit, who went from kind of a poor tackling guy at LSU, but an elite athlete, his toughness has added to his value. He may be better later than he was early just because now he will tackle. That's
Right.
just me. That's just me. That's just me.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Like you meant. Like I just think back distinctly to the playoffs and thinking, man, every one of these teams has good safety play, and like like Penn State, as good as that defense was, they were missing their best safety who was out for the year, Kevin Winston Jr. And they had good play from other guys in that room, and I thought the safeties played remarkably, but that defense takes another step forward with Winston back there, and then Texas had Makuba, they had Taft, they had Jade, all kind of fitting the run but playing physical football. Notre Dame obviously had Xavier, and so all these teams that made it to the end, that were there at the end, even Arizona State, Arizona State's got a DB that transferred in from Texas and USC named Xavier Alford, who I loved in high school. Super smart kid, super instinctual, understands some of that stuff. He wears number 2, calls himself the 100-yard landlord. He does he plays DB the way I like DB play, and so even a team like Arizona State had that quality safety.
That's our guy, Tim Verghese, Inside Nebraska. Great stuff as always, Tim. We appreciate your time and have a good weekend.
Yes, sir. Y'all too. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Stevie.
Hey, get those board shorts out for next week. We're ready to go.
Appreciate it. My favorite thing about TV, he just doesn't pick the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. Certified ball knower. That's our guy. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next. Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. We're halfway through the show. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here on the Pillar Exterior stage, reminding you, go see my friends at Midlands Family Urgent Care. I go and see them for their weight loss medication. I'm on semaglutide. You can also get tirzepatide. Those compounded medications help you lose weight. I'm down over 30 pounds already, and it's been a huge help. It's a game changer for me. Make sure you get to Midlands Family Urgent Care, the Millard location, 402-810-9494, to get a consultation set up and see if they can help you the way they've helped me.
They got to be pretty good at what they do, because 30-some pounds given your sugar intake is incredible.
Dude, you know what it is? So
I'm fascinated.
So you know what's funny is, weirdly, and this I think is a me thing. Don't put this on Midlands Family or on the medications.
FDA certified.
Yeah. So part of it for me is because I'm not hungry the way I was before, and because I've got the blood sugar thing, it does tamp your blood sugars down. So when I do eat, I have to get a punch of sugar to make sure my blood sugar stays up.
Right. So
I've switched. I've switched into some higher sugar foods, because I'm eating so much less throughout the day that I kind of have to pack a punch when I do eat. So it's kind of a weird situation for me specifically, but that's okay.
Team Crustable.
I do.
I would if you want to just bottom line it, you're just more efficient with the sugar.
Yeah, I need to have more calorie dense foods since I'm eating less in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because I'll eat, this morning I had Pop-Tarts. I probably won't eat for another 6 to 8 hours, which is a really long time for me. I used to be every 2 hours on the dot.
I to the minute.
Yeah.
I still have tricked my family.
Yeah.
Well, Micah wanted hibachi.
Okay.
Hibachi. So I don't even know why I did.
Was that like Gilbert Arenas hibachi?
I'm not a real Gil guy, but that's fine.
There was a 6-month period where he was kind of cool.
I was kind of vibing with him. Yeah. Now the pod is
he's a little cool. He's a little out there now.
I'm not mad at him.
Sure.
I'm not mad at him. He and Tim Hardaway the other day was pretty funny. But so Micah wanted hibachi, and we're on this thing where we're trying to. This is how I spent it. Hey, it's cold out. Once I get home, I don't want to have to leave again. Go give the freezer and the fridge the run through. What do you want to do? He goes, oh man, how about some hibachi? So I was cool. So I was when you say hibachi, what do you mean?
Yeah.
He goes, some beef, some chicken, some shrimp, which all I knew. We have all of that at the house. Yeah. But I didn't want to roll the dice with one of the things. If I'm gonna stir fry something like that, I don't really want it to be I don't want to quote unquote waste the super cut of meat, because I'm gonna use the chow wine, the fish oil.
Yeah, you're not using a tomahawk.
It's marinating anyway.
Yeah, you're not using a tomahawk for your meat.
I think to this minute they still don't know that I cubed part of a pork shoulder.
Really? Until now.
It's getting tossed like a stir fry.
No, they're not.
So you do like the rice and stuff too?
Yeah, so we had leftover rice,
Okay.
which worked because.
How do you cook your rice? Do you use the Instapot?
You want to know? No. Oh no.
Okay.
No.
Some people struggle cooking rice. That's why I'm asking.
Now this isn't me,
Mhm.
but we found this online. It is like not a stick of butter, however much butter,
Mhm.
however much water, a cap full of vinegar.
Okay.
You bring it to you microwave it.
Mhm.
You stir it. You put your rice, cup and a half or whatever, in like a Pyrex dish.
Mhm.
You pour that mixture over, and you put it in the oven. It's 28 minutes, and it is 1,000% foolproof.
You know what's weird?
Foolproof. And my mom gave me a rice maker.
Yeah.
I just don't eat rice.
Oh yeah,
But the rice maker,
legit.
yes.
So you know what's funny is
But we don't use it.
most people either use like a rice maker, they'll do instant rice, they'll do
It's foolproof.
Instapot, whatever. My dad is the only person I've ever met in my life. Now, he's from India, so he's got a background in cooking some rice, all right? It's a staple of their diet, right? He just like throws it in a pan on the stove and just eyeballs it. Comes out perfect every time.
Yeah,
It's unreal.
So a lot of people do brown it first.
No, that's the whole
And
cooking
then
process.
add
It's just on the stove. That's all he does.
He's got to add a liquid.
Oh, yeah, it's with water.
Yeah. So a lot of people do brown their rice first.
But he
I clean my, like I soak. I
Yeah.
want the starch to come off.
He just eyeballs it. It's weird. It's wild.
Good on him.
It's it's a skill.
I think people overcomplicate rice.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it'd be that hard to cook, but apparently it is.
So when I got home, I took it out of the fridge and it was still in the container. I put it in the garage.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard and
So it
clumpy.
stayed cold, unlike everything else that you just leave on your stove.
Your boy, I did some butter, sesame oil. I put the rice in.
Yeah, sesame oil is good.
I have dark soy. I have tamarind.
Mhm.
Put that. I'm doing my thing. I scooted it over. I broke 3 eggs. Ended up mixing those. This is one pot now
Yeah.
because I had done the meat separate.
Yeah.
And it was warming in the oven because I didn't know. I wanted the meat separate, so I didn't want it in the rice.
You
So I
don't
only
mix it in
mixed
with the
part-
carbs. Yeah.
So, a little MSG, and I do? Oh yeah, the secret ingredient for him was a little fish sauce, and he's like, it's better with store-bought. I'm like, you damn right. I just fed all you guys for $6.
You got dang right.
But yeah, I still to this minute don't think they know that wasn't beef.
You know what I think is? I think that Micah's a little delulu about it being better than store bought or than restaurant bought.
Not true.
But I do want to get I want to get into true or delulu here. I've got some good ones for you.
Really?
I do.
Are you sure? Given how this morning is gone. I mean, we were doing SNL stand-up.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a quarterback edition.
College or pro?
Pro. Of True or Delulu.
All right, I'm in.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're going to start with my team, San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy is worth $45 million a year as a quarterback. True or Delulu?
True.
No questions asked?
100%.
Is there a number where you'd stop? The highest paid guy in the league is 60, so let's call that the cap. If he's at 50 million, do you say no?
I think I'm just going to answer the question. He's a $45 million guy.
Okay, $45 million guy.
On my algorithm last night at 12:20 in the
like
morning.
your guy Kyler Murray?
Hey, can you not splash the pot? I splash the pot if I want to.
Pay that man his money.
Pay the man his money. Yes.
All right, number 2.
I flopped the nut straight.
How you like them at? Oh, that's a
Shane,
different.
you probably just like to flop some nuts, wouldn't you?
That's a different. Whoa.
You pecan
I'm a pistachio guy personally. Almonds.
A lot of work. Pistachios.
Yeah, that's all right.
Get my nuts.
It helps me from eating them too fast. Like sometimes I need the process to help me from eating them too fast. You know.
It's kind of weird.
Number 2. Matthew Stafford will be starting quarterback for the Rams next year. True or Delulu?
Oh man, I know they're trying to restructure this deal.
And somebody would trade for him for sure.
Oh yeah, and they would just slide Aaron Rodgers in. He gets to go home, be the California ayahuasca guy.
is Matthew Stafford on the Rams?
Boy, that is a good one, Ravi.
I have my moments. It's a tough one.
Boy, that's tough.
True or Delulu?
True.
I think so too.
True.
Trading him is a bad idea.
True.
Trading him is a bad idea.
Get the deal done.
If you think you can compete next year, trading him is a bad idea.
Listen, Justin's. If I could hug Justin,
What'd he say?
He said Stafford to Steelers.
Oh, you would love that.
Hey, I run down Dodge 72nd Dodge Street naked. Like right now.
Sober?
Oh yeah. How much do I love? I haven't had.
You love Stafford.
I love.
Stafford. You've been.
I'm a Stafford apologist,
and you have been forever.
Yes, even when he was in Detroit.
Yeah, 100%.
Justin, if that were to happen, man, speak that thing into existence, Jr.
Start manifesting. You brought up Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers will be a starting quarterback in the NFL next season. True or Delulu?
True.
Okay, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Somebody will take a chance on that man?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I won't even give it the caveat. I'm just saying, and they won't overpay to do it either.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think Rodgers, if he wants to play, will be at the mercy of the league and not his
preferences.
I
think that's correct.
I don't know if that's a tepid, lukewarm.
No, I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's correct. You also mentioned your Steelers. You will be happy with the Steelers quarterback situation next year. True or Delulu?
Oh, God, there's just no way.
I mean, if you got Stafford, obviously true.
I'm taking law of averages, and I'm going to say Delulu.
No.
I think you're right. I don't think they're going to get a guy you like. You would take Lawrence, though, at this point, right?
Yes.
No questions asked?
Yes.
I agree.
I would take Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence in a functional franchise, I think, is interesting.
Yeah, and I'm kind of scared because
Sure.
I don't know.
The price tag is what scares me about Lawrence.
That's not it. I'm already thinking who can control Pickens. I mean, because he's the wild card. Let's not get it twisted.
Because Trevor probably can't. You don't feel good about it.
But I do feel like Pickens could dial in if he felt like he had Lawrence.
If he had a chance to get some.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the problem with Pickens, right? If you don't feel like he's going to get what he wants, it could get out of pocket a little bit.
Yeah. I just don't want the Steelers to draft a quarterback at 21.
Last one. Speaking of drafting quarterbacks, we didn't even plan this. Look at all those segues you gave me. That's a professional right there.
I'm a lot of things. A professional isn't one of them.
You're a professional at something. Everybody is.
Impromptu bits.
Speaking of drafting a quarterback, the Tennessee Titans will take a quarterback with the first overall pick. True or Delulu?
Boy, that is tough.
I came up with some good ones today, didn't I? Not to pat myself on the back, sprain my shoulder doing it, like Victor Wembanyama. Well, that's not sprain. That's a different thing.
How's your pickleball elbow? Is it?
Oh, I'm ready to go.
Tendonitis.
I'm ready to take on our guy, Coach Rule.
I'm literally going to tell him you said you would beat his ass.
I didn't say that.
That's exactly what you said.
I didn't.
You looked. This dude is over here, Tim Johnson. You looked dead at me and said I beat Coach Rule's ass. I said, okay.
Listen, if that's what it takes to get it done, Coach Rule.
That was months ago. I don't think I said that, but if that's what it takes to get this done. It was still warm weather. You were feeling good about yourself.
I mean, listen, I've been playing tennis more than pickleball, but I'll still take him in pickleball.
It's physical. It's hard.
Listen, I know he said
that's how he hurt his knee too.
I know he said he was going to bench press with Josh Pate for a charity. Like Coach Rule, let's find a charity, and I will beat your ass in pickleball. Let's go.
I think I know the one he'd pick, but I don't want to speak for him.
All right, Tennessee Titans. True or Delulu?
Are you watching this Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders trade?
I am, yeah. I think after like 2 days, I think I'm in on Cam Ward now.
Dude, he's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I kind of like it. But he's like nuts in the way that speaks to me.
I'm going to say Delulu.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm leaning true. I'm leaning true on the Titans.
These guys are certifiable, though. If you watch their interactions,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
All it took was somebody to be mean to a member of the Sanders family, and I'm all in on Cam Ward.
I'm going to go Delulu. I don't feel great about it, though.
That is true, or Delulu. We'll be back. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up. Wrapping up hour number 2 here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, and brought to you by our friends over at Centris Federal Credit Union. Make sure you get over to centrisfcu.org to check out all their different offerings. Because, I know Valentine's Day's passed. Maybe it's time to, instead of thinking about love, think about breaking up with your financial situation.
Breaking up is hard to do.
It can be, but with Centris Federal Credit Union, it can be easier to move on to a bigger and better place to get your financial situation taken care of. Go to centrisfcu.org to talk to one of their experts and find out more. That's Centris Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
My barber's team Centris.
Dude, that great.
Has been.
I love Centris.
He's team Centris, and he's really smart too.
So Mike Delaware is apparently team pissing Ravi off over here.
No, this my dude.
No, stop it.
I hate saying this all the
Stop
time, but we must be on the same algorithm or watch a lot of the same things. Because I'm vibing with him.
Well,
the Purdy thing has been floated.
He's straight up Delulu. If he thinks the 40
the Purdy thing has been floated.
For what? You think that they're going to trade for Aaron Rodgers or take Aaron Rodgers and trade Brock Purdy?
So the longer the contract negotiations take, the more I would. Again, that's another touch the sign at 72nd and Dodge.
Yeah, of course. Because I don't care what people say. Purdy's really freaking good.
I had to sell you.
You didn't have to sell me on Purdy. I've been on Purdy.
Jang Lang.
I've been on Purdy.
Jang Lang.
Listen, I'm more Benny Mac than Bernie Mac.
There's only one Benny Mac.
I said more. I'm not saying I'm him.
And I never hit send on that good morning.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, is that what happens on some of those texts when you don't get a text back? You just forget to hit send
all the time. I'm the worst. Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
So you know what's funny? We were over at Omaha Storm Chasers Union Omaha the other day.
Yeah.
And so I was hanging out with our friend Marty.
Marty's got jokes over DB.
And he's like, hey, just tell DB what's up. And I was like, all right, I forgot to, so I'm doing it now. But he goes, so we had this bonding moment about how terrible you are at texting people back.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to just straight up tell him. I was like, hey, you make me insecure when you don't text me back. And he goes, yeah, dude, I had the same thing. I go, and then I figured out it's just a DB thing, and I'm cool now.
So sometimes, I'm going to give Marty's right. But Marty's so kind. Like, so sometimes Marty will he'll say something cool or whatever, just being MC. And I don't think much of it because he's not asking anything of me.
No,
he's just being Marty. And sometimes they get buried. Like I text somebody back from 2 days ago and I was like, hey man, I can't believe this got buried.
Yeah.
But as you'll see, like if I put my
it goes crazy.
So you'll be like 12 or 13 deep.
Yeah. That's the other thing I didn't understand when I first met you was just how many messages you get.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and I figured that out and we hashed it out. I was like, I just figured that's a DB thing, not a me problem.
I'm trying to find the settings. I may just have to give you my phone again where I'm alerted to unread messages.
Oh, it like reminds you?
Yeah, so I can go back and
go back and get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. That'd be good. Yeah. We'll see if we can figure that out for you.
I'll zip it.
See, now he's pissed me off again.
Now he's just trolling you.
I don't think he is. Maybe he is.
Nah, he says he's not a game manager.
No, Purdy's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
Like
I don't think MD believes that.
I don't know. Sometimes he gets a little out there.
How about the amazing Dan? Maybe I have a bad attitude because Darnold is fine, but meh. I could hear him saying that too. I feel like he went from being underrated to way overrated really quickly. I
don't know if overrated.
So you put his statistical season up with.
He had a really good year.
Yeah.
Because I think we're overreacting to the last couple games.
So, but here, so for the
not that it doesn't matter because it does.
So for two of the aforementioned quarterbacks, I think the best thing for them is to stay with who they got. Right? It's always like the dude or and now the last 10 years, it's more the woman who
love the one you're with.
Yeah, who would leave because she thinks the grass is greener on the other side. But Stafford's best with McVay.
Yep. Purdy's going to be best with Shanahan.
And Darnold is best with O'Connell.
Yeah. Everybody should just stay put.
Just chill and be patient.
And Aaron Rodgers can go to some silence retreat.
You do have two of those franchises.
Yeah.
that it's more on their terms than yours. Purdy's the one where I think there's mutual respect where it would be more, okay, what do you think? Let's meet in the middle. I think the Rams are in control of wanting to redo Stafford's deal and are willing to part ways if it doesn't work. And I definitely think Minnesota has McCarthy in the wings. And if I'm O'Connell and I'm good with quarterbacks in general,
I'll take my chances.
I may go with JJ.
Here's the other thing.
So I think that's how he's thinking.
I think Darnold's last 2 games cost him more in leverage than they actually were an indication of how good or bad he is.
I'm 1,000% with you.
And
he lost his leverage.
Here's the other thing is I don't know where people got this idea that the 49ers are not in love with Brock Purdy. Like, they found Brock Purdy. They developed Brock Purdy. They chose Brock Purdy over their number 3 overall pick. Now, maybe it wasn't a tough choice, but they did make that choice and shipped Trey Lance out of town. Like, they had invested a lot in Trey Lance and almost nothing in Brock Purdy, and they chose Brock Purdy, right? How many times have we seen the guy that gets invested in, and not just with a number 3 pick, but a lot of picks to acquire that number 3 pick, including picks that could have turned into Micah Parsons. Not that I remember that or care or anything like that, but if you're
that, don't stop there.
That's the one that bothers me the most.
Parsons?
Because if I had Bosa and Parsons at the same time,
go back and look at the guys that got drafted after Trey Lance in 2021.
I know.
You may tear up. I would not start with Parsons.
That's fair. I'll keep going back. But Parsons is the one that.
Who's your guy that you?
Which one?
I almost said something naughty. That you need paper towels for.
Who?
Penei Sewell.
Oh, yeah. I love Penei Sewell.
You lament over that guy every chance you get.
I love Penei Sewell.
Hey, go back and look at like the next 6 or 7 picks.
God, does that mean Jamar Chase is on there too?
Yes.
Damn it.
And yes, Chase is on there.
Damn it.
It's incredible.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
Trey Lance is going to be a victim. It's going to get over-accentuated how bad a pick that was as a guy that's only started 5 games.
Yeah.
Because of what was available.
Because of everybody else.
And they're so good.
Yeah.
You're talking like Hall of Fame caliber starts to their career.
A bunch of them. But yeah, to the point, the 49ers love Brock Purdy. Like, I don't think they're in a hurry to get rid of him. Mike. Speaking of Mike, Sautter coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports. Welcome back. Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We are joined now by one Mike Sautter from Hurrdat Sports and NEBPreps. What's up, Sautter?
You know, just wheelbarrowing into a motherfucking Friday right now.
Okay.
And that's the first one.
See, now when I made the prediction of 4, I was
thought it was going to be Verghese?
I know, I thought it was going to be 4 words in. I missed it by about 3.
What's up, Mike? How we doing?
Oh, boy.
What?
Getting in trouble for doing the wheelbarrow or what?
Yeah, I don't know, man. People need to relax. Like, have some fucking fun every once in a while. Laugh. Smile. It's okay to smile.
You a big Aaron Rodgers guy? Relax.
That did not age well.
No.
Yeah, no. He needs to go
Neither
ahead.
has Aaron Rodgers either. So,
Hey,
you
look
know.
at Avery.
Oh, no.
She, of all people, should know. She works with this weirdo.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers needs to just relax on the couch. Like, call it a day, bro.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
Ruin our franchise.
As a Jets fan, what do you want to do?
Well, me and little Kurt up here, we would like to, my man Curtis Martin, we would probably like to not pay Justin Fields $15 million.
You don't want Fields.
No, I know. So, okay, this is what you do. You just take Tyrod Taylor for a year and cross your fingers.
No.
Like,
Aaron,
that he'll be healthy.
Glenn does not strike me as a let's just get by guy.
No. I know, but I don't know the other options. Like, what are the other options?
I mean, you know this isn't like 2015 Tyrod Taylor, right?
I understand, but he's on the roster, and him and right now it's him, Jordan Travis with a I don't know if his leg, whatever. And hey, Give my man Adrian Martinez a shot then. Whatever. Like, let's try something.
So
I don't know where they go. Like, what do you do? What do you do? Like
on Rodgers, is it because of what you think he did to your team internally? Because statistically, he wasn't that bad.
Stuttertistically?
What?
Sorry. Okay. He wasn't that bad.
So what you guys had this week, and maybe this is just your real personalities, but
hey, Sautter,
I haven't been able to control Ravi either. I mean, this dude has been so out of pocket all week. It's incredible.
Okay, Sautter, so answer me this, right? So we got another Mike in the chat who's out of his damn mind.
Are you picking on my Mike D?
Yeah, I am. Because he goes, A-Rod had better numbers than Brock Purdy this year. Mike, if you've watched football at all,
he's messing with you.
Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or would you rather have Brock Purdy?
This is Pissy Rob talking to you now.
For the
Jets, who would you prefer?
Right now, today, with the way the Jets roster is and all that, I would take Brock Purdy because that would be like a quarterback I could look forward to.
You don't need caveats there. Like Brock Purdy is currently a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. Like, that's true. Are you nuts? What?
Wait, what was that again?
Are you out of your mind?
I don't know. If you're the San Francisco 49ers and you are, this window is very shrinking every minute, very rapidly.
Well, they'll have some more cap space after Debo goes to Pittsburgh.
Hey, I would trade for Debo in 2 seconds. That is a bad dude. Now,
don't worry, we got Ricky Pearsall. He got shot and he's good to go.
Wow.
I am not.
Our own personal 50 Cent.
I'm not making fun of that guy. I was about to.
I'm not making fun of him. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
The guy that got shot at the beginning of the season was the healthiest receiver we had last
year. Hey, if
why digitally we're doing over like 3K this week on average, it's Ding Dong over here that has completely lost. He will say anything.
Good.
Closet racist, super hot take.
Whoa.
Mean spirited.
Go back to the closet racist part. Where'd I miss?
It's not even closet. It's like it's just out there.
What did I even say? Oh. That's not racist. Everybody can eat Nutter Butters.
Wow.
Anywho,
okay. If nobody in their right mind is taking Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career over Brock Purdy, that's nuts.
Listen, you as a 49ers fan, you wouldn't be like, yeah, maybe maybe he could actually get us a Super Bowl. But like next year for 1 year. 1 year guy.
Like us.
Brock Purdy got them to the Super Bowl and almost beat Patrick Mahomes. Like, what are we doing?
He did, or did he Trent Dilfer it?
Spirits from a roster standpoint.
Did you ask if he Trent Dilfered it?
Go ahead.
Did you ask if he Trent Dilfered it? What's wrong with you?
Say, let's just chill.
My God, you watch as little football as this other Mike.
Yeah, I got my.
Now we're taking.
Are you out of your mind?
I'm not a mass. I'm just Brock Purdy for me is very like if you go ahead pay that guy $50 million a year. Good luck.
Put it like 45. But I'm just saying the guy.
Good luck with that.
Every quarterback that's ever come through their franchise is like, oh no, I'm cool on Brock Purdy. Like, what's wrong with you?
Hey, good luck. Pay Brock Purdy $45 to $50 million a year and have fun.
Hey, let's get something more in your wheelhouse since apparently you don't watch football.
That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
Good luck. Hey, this is an Albanian. Can you translate this for me?
Out of your
Tell him,
mind.
Jerome. Good luck.
I think I'm going on NBNR on Tuesday. I think Mike and I might fight. Like physically fight.
Wait, both you guys at the same time?
No, I'm with Mike D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They haven't invited me back after the one singular episode 2 years ago. I don't think they'll like me anymore. I cuss too much for them, I think.
Nobody cusses more than those guys.
You've met Jared, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Certified.
Yeah.
I don't know how he teaches children.
I don't know. Apparently, he's pretty funny.
He is funny, but I don't know how he
in the building.
I don't know how he turns it off for 8 hours a day.
Dude, you've done it for years.
I do it every day.
Me?
Who dropped the first S-bomb on this show? Not me.
The minute we're off air, you cuss. 10:01, this dude is saying an expletive.
Yeah. So
it's like he just keeps it in.
It's perfectly okay, like, to use that word. Like, I mean, as long as it's not like I'm not gonna say, like, as long as it's not like I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker, or something like that. Like, that's probably not okay.
I gotta say that immediately says the word.
Yeah, I just said I'm in the fuck it mode today. If you haven't figured it out,
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Oh, I said it.
I sometimes I feel like I should probably not, just because I don't know. But
not on your way somewhere close to CHI by now.
Because I still need to take a shower and get ready and get down there. But I'll be down there about, I don't know, 10:30, and then be there all night. So it was a long day. It's been a long couple days here. So I'm just kind of taking it easy this morning because we're in the like wrestle backs, mode this morning. And then consolation semis will probably start around 11 or noon or something. So
when's my guy Tyson Terry going again?
Tonight,
semis.
So is he just once today?
Yeah, he'll be he'll be at like freaking 9:30 or 10 o'clock tonight.
Ron was hilarious. He was great. Like, that was one of our, and I get it, like, not everybody's for wrestling. He was
our guy Higgy Stardust.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He was sensational because he was talking about a lot of things that I think other sports could adopt, right? The ability to evolve. And I know we've always done it this way, but let's look at something new and how do we better the game and how do we grow the game? And we maybe have to take some chances. And, we changed scoring and we're blowing whistles less. And you've seen it the first couple of days with the girls and the boys. Like, you're never out of it. And until the end of that third period. Like, it's been highly entertaining.
And frankly, shit just moves way faster. Like, now, like, the matches move faster because it's three, rather than being, okay, I'm going to take you down, let you up, take you down, let you up 2 or 3 times. That was, 4-2. Well, 6-2 is a lot different in wrestling than 4-2. If you do that twice, and then if you do it again, it's 9-3, and then it's basically a wrap. So, or a guy can just flip that on you. I will say this: Ron Higdon is a genius when it comes to putting on this event and just
chances.
Yeah, one thing I am nervous about is that he's gonna retire because his daughter, plays softball, and then his son Ryder is actually wrestling in the state tournament. How about that? Like, that'd be hard to manage your mental.
I'm just in love with the name because that's Zoe's nickname. So
yeah,
for that.
So I will say this: he's made the adjustments, and the 2-day girls state tournament standalone was excellent. Like,
remember, and I reminded him too, Jerome, where we, a handful of years ago, we were having boys sit out for philosophical reasons over having to wrestle girls at state, and it wasn't even sanctioned yet. Some years removed, and they're getting $16K in a 2-day event.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, there was 4,100 or something for the finals, and we're talking 2 classes, not 4 like the boys.
I do like that too.
Yeah, the second class helped a lot. Just it does for girls, and to be quite honest with you, as someone who is a dad of 2 young daughters, I was a little like, oh boy, I don't know, like, if this is what we want to do. But now, after watching it, like, the good ones, like the really good girls it's amazing to watch them. Like, it's amazing. Like, that Kaylin Lyons and Macy Peacher match was excellent. It was great. 2 high level competitive people. Now some of the other ones are like, like, I don't know if you should be doing this, but it gives kids something to do. I know that. Like, and girls wrestling is not stealing numbers from basketball or other sports. They're just not. Most of those kids wouldn't be doing anything else, with their time in the winter or even in the off season and stuff.
Let me ask you something about, we were talking about officiating and how it's had to evolve because guys are able and gals are able to do so many more things athletically and sprawling and scrambles. And I mean, it's electric, like the athleticism. And coincidentally, I'm sure it was you that shot the footage for NEB. I don't want to steal anybody else's thunder if it wasn't, but even what we always talk about with the Ziolas, where you see Cade like snap the head and get the ankle pick, like the same goddamn sweeping motion. It's like, oh, no big deal. Like, slow that down. Like, stuff like that is incredible. You didn't see things like that all humbuggy a few years ago. Like, some of that stuff is incredible, and you have to be on it as an official and evolve too, especially now that you're blowing the whistle less.
Yeah, I did not shoot that actually. That was our guys. Alex was there yesterday. Alex and Christian did that for us.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Cade has hands that I need to measure them. Like, I'm gonna get a tape measure, a ruler. His hands are like
but watching him, they're in the 11s. I bet. Like,
unbelievable. And they're long. I like shook his hand yesterday and it swallowed. And I even stopped and told him, like, what the, like, geez, dude, like your hand.
What happens when he puts his hand on the back of guys' heads?
Yeah. And the fact that he has been able to, his arms are so long where he can literally have you in like a little bit of a one-handed tie up and just drop down and snatch your ankle in the same at the same time is amazing.
Other with like underhooks and like old school stuff. It's just like,
yeah. And to your point about the officials, though, they've done a good job of adapting, and now it's gotten a little younger, right? Like the officials, like we kind of aged out a little bit, which happens. That's just how it works. But they've done a good job. There hasn't been anybody. I mean, it's been real smooth from my experience. There hasn't been any major controversial calls or anything like that. Now we'll get to, you'll probably see some of that tonight and tomorrow a little bit because the matches will be tighter. One guy, though, talk about athleticism. Jermaine Dortch is pretty quick on his feet.
He's smoked enough guys on my huddle tape watching him coming out of the secondary where I get it. I told haven't I brought him up?
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest open field tacklers that no one talks about in the Metro, and you see exactly why with how he just annihilates guys on the mat. He is sensational coming out of the secondary and bringing drama.
Imagine that, like Kyler Lorson, really good open field tackler too. Like these guys are wrestlers. That's why they're good open field tacklers.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the best I've ever coached: Austin Williams for Burke, Bula, or Javon Perkins from Alex Bridgeford. Like those guys could tackle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's because they're a wrestler. They're like you can't get by them pretty much most of the time.
Not surprised by Preps dominance?
No, in wrestling, no, not at all. We were, let's see, Drew or Cody from Any Wrestle, those guys, we were talking, setting like an over-under at total team points around like 255. And the Millard South record's like in the 260s. So they'd be pushing
I've
it.
seen Millard South sitting at 50 a ways down the chart. Almost didn't look right. You're like,
yeah. Yeah.
What?
And Preps, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Like their Cruiser Dominguez is way good, and he's just a freshman, and he's
actually
like,
not bad behind a microphone either.
Oh, Cruiser? Yeah, he's pretty mature. He's a mature kid.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, because you better get used to this over the next 4 years,
especially as a freshman. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah, so like if he doesn't end up, at Nebraska as Nebraska's like 125 pounder down in a couple of years here, then something didn't go right.
Who do you think's kind of flying under the radar? A guy like Harrell maybe, or like I'm trying to think of a good one.
I have one great one.
All right.
Mason Peterson from Columbus. Yeah. He's the under the radar guy that doesn't get enough attention.
It's interesting. Anytime you say Columbus, I always think of
the robe.
I think of the guy that I just mentioned in Alex Bridgeford.
Yeah.
Definitely up there.
And Mason is quiet. He doesn't say a whole lot. We had him on our Mike Chuck Wrestling podcast, and he's pretty reserved. Doesn't talk, a lot. And but he just goes about his business. Him and Scotty Meyer from Lincoln East are two really good guys in there.
I'm pretty impressed with Lincoln East holding serve for what they're bringing to the table too.
They're really deep. They don't have like the stars, right? But they're just real deep and solid. Them in Grand Island.
Get what I mean when I say kind of holding serve, right? Like they're maximizing their depth.
Oh yeah, and that's why I like today and like during the day, not tonight, and tomorrow in the wrestlebacks and all that, they're gonna just rack up a bunch of wins and a bunch of points, and they're just gonna kind of stay close-ish, I guess, to prep maybe. When I say that, I mean like, maybe they'll be within 50 points of them or something. But East is good. And Coach Rutledge and those guys, they do a tremendous job. They're great dudes. And I guess co-head coaches over there. So they're good.
So you keeping an eye on Class B with Scott and the Ziola brothers?
Yeah, Scott and Bennington are the two teams in B. I think it's going to be hard to probably beat Scott just because they're going to have, you have Welty and the two Ziolas for sure in the final, should be in the finals. That's 3 finalists. They probably have 2 more. They might get 5 into the finals, which is a lot. And then they'll get some bonus points, on that too. So with pins or tech falls and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Bennington would have to kind of really do some work here to think.
When you're talking about, and I know you've had to like kind of triple, quadruple duty, girls, boys, college. By the way, there's this thing called high school basketball.
Yeah, I was at a game last night.
going on at the same time. Any surprises for you and your coaches poll?
Not a lot. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, like, at this point, we're just it
is what it is.
Yeah, it could be anybody. Tonight's a huge game. Millard North, Papio South. Not for district seeding stuff because that's pretty much we're kind of in there unless something crazy happens, like a bunch of upsets. But just from a confidence standpoint, like going into the playoffs
or for Papio South though, right? Because I'm looking at these matchups.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure on an answer for Rollins. I mean, maybe they just hope that he's
off
very effective because they're tough matchups across the board. Papio South's going to have to shoot it really well.
Yeah, Papio South. Beckenauer, like I don't know if can he guard him because that's who's going to have to guard. Well, shoot. And then you have Deacon Courtney. You got someone has to guard too. So maybe Bryson guards him. I don't know. Bryson, like maybe Bryson Ball guards him.
Got to keep out of foul trouble. Rollins is tough because he uses his body.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I don't know what they maybe do there because Levi Webb, like that's not a great matchup there either.
I do like his emergence though. I mean, good on Webb.
No, yeah, he's been great. He was great Saturday in Grand Island too, or not great, but played well Saturday in Grand Island, and that whatever that win was for them over a not very good. Forget the team from Kansas City they weren't very good. So
I'm guessing, and I don't want to speak for you. Have you moved off the prep thing as kind of the dark horse?
A little bit. Yep.
Has anybody moved into that role?
Well, Northeast, I guess you could call them a dark horse. They're probably going to be the 5th seed. The one though, and they're playing really well. Bellevue West.
I told you.
Yeah, they're playing really well.
That was my day one.
They've won like six in a row or something, and they should win tonight and tomorrow or whatever. And like they should be coming in, and right now they'd be the 2 seed in A7 against Prep. So like, and that matchup's kind of okay for them, right? Like you have Garcia and Parker, you can kind of even that out.
In any other year, Garcia's play would be getting more run.
100%. Yeah.
They just haven't won enough for Bellevue West standards.
They're 16 and
they're a victim of their own standards.
Yeah, that's true. He's one of the best. I mean, he's great. He's one of the best seniors for sure. And he's had a monster year. He's been amazing. And those little guards, man, like they're tough. And
they felt like they had the most room for growth.
Yeah, like because those guys just hadn't played. Like they just needed time on the court together and playing in big games or varsity level action. And now they are. Now keeping James, like, man, don't let him get to the basket and don't let him go right. Just do what Nebraska women did the other night and literally shade like all the way out. Just forcing someone to go right.
Talking about against Oregon?
Yeah.
Big.
That was a big game. Like
without arguably your best player.
Yeah, I mean, your point guard is a lot. That's a huge deal.
Reminded why Alexis is who she is.
Yeah, it's special.
Yeah, and she had. I mean, and that matchup. Normally, Alexis kind of struggles with like monster size, which Oregon has. She did. I mean, she was phenomenal. It was amazing. Like the 2 threes in the fourth quarter and stuff. She was phenomenal. 35 points. By the way, guys, that was really hard. I tried to like cover 2 college games at the same time. One watching and one watching in person. I don't know if I'm ever going to try that again. But it was hard to do.
Well, one thing you'll find out with those respective fan bases, like they'll come for you.
Yeah, I know.
Like
bad boys.
They'll come for you.
Sautter, we appreciate the time as always. Hey, if you ever need a fun off-season story, go talk to Grant Beckenauer's dad, Scott.
I know Scott.
That dude was a baller.
Very well.
That dude was a straight-up bucket. Go talk to that dude. McCook's finest. All right.
Was it 8-Ball? Who sang that song? Wanna be a baller. Shaka 20 years blaze on the Impala.
He'll give you
baller. Getting red tonight. I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, even though we're not on the radio anymore, there's still certain words you can't say, Sautter.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care how much crossover you think you have.
There's got to be a better way for me to get the fuck out of here. See you later.
See you, Sautter. More Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next. We are back here on Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here on the Pillar Exterior stage. It's time for Bet On It, DB. I'm going to bet on these people so our friends over at NBNR put out a little poll.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I know they're not watching ball very much. You know,
well, you're just going to take your passive-aggressive shots, huh?
That's not passive-aggressive. That's just aggressive.
But they're in almost the same line of work we are, so they can clap back.
Yeah, and I'm on their show Tuesday, so we'll see.
Oh, really?
I was being serious. Yeah, I'm on the show Tuesday.
I thought you were joking.
No, I'm on Tuesday. Because I asked him very nicely. I asked Jared, though, because he's...
Do you think they would treat me different the second time around?
Maybe. You want to go on together?
No.
We have a good time.
Oh, no, I know. But it would just be the show.
Not really, because those guys would give a different dynamic.
They went a little easier on me than I thought they would. And maybe it was because... But now they're like coming into their own. They'll probably do what they want. Like, DB.
So our guys over... And listen, I know they watch Nebraska. They watch college football. Good for you. Like, that's fine. You're obviously not watching pro ball here because anybody who just wants to point at statistics and go... Oh, Rodgers.
You know how I hate that.
Yeah, no, it's the worst. Rodgers.
We got a guy in the chat that's all he does.
28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Brock Purdy, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers had a better year. And you'd rather no. He ruined a franchise.
Rodgers was like 28-9, wasn't he? Or
28-11 is what they have him at.
yeah.
I haven't looked it up, but I'll believe them.
That's right.
I'll believe them. If you are watching how that last 2 years have played out for the Jets when they sold their soul to Aaron Rodgers, you got to be out of your mind. You couldn't pay me. Aaron Rodgers could not pay me personally to play.
Yes, he could.
To play quarterback for my franchise.
Yes, he could.
It depends on what the number is.
Yeah,
it depends on what the number is.
That is king cap right there.
You're
fibbing.
It depends on what the number is. Okay.
It wouldn't even have to be much.
How much are we talking?
My man could say $200K and you'd be like, late.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right. That's not even league minimum. Gump.
Well, I'm not a league minimum player, DB. If I was a league minimum player, I might hold out for more.
You would be sitting next to me?
I might hold out for more.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, you can't sit here and tell me anybody in their right mind, no certified ball knowers are taking Aaron Rodgers over Brock Purdy at this point in their career.
I love certified ball knowers. I like how you ask a leading question like boxing men. I'm just intimating, like, if you don't agree with me, I'm saying you don't know anything.
100%.
But do you agree with me?
That's my entire bit, is I paint people into corners.
And you ain't afraid to change brushes either.
Listen, I gotta be versatile. You know, I change my medium. Sometimes I'm working with acrylic. Sometimes I'm working with oils. Sometimes with watercolor. You know, you gotta keep pressing.
Oh shoot.
Like my guy Mike Tomlin.
He said 14 votes in, and people prefer Rodgers.
Well, we're 19, and now they prefer Purdy. So, like, maybe we wait for. I don't know if you've watched elections lately. The numbers change as the votes come in.
So, are you just aggressive with Mike because you know I like him? Because I like all the guys.
I like them all, but like Mike's a little nuts.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I like all the guys. I like, obviously KB is
so
our.
I think.
Is our video guy.
The last 3 times I've seen him.
Mike or KB?
Mike.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been sober. Although
they all get after it.
Although Springfield was debatable. He could have just been on his way.
I'm on my way.
But certainly wasn't like normal. He might have just been teetering on the cusp.
So I'll be honest, I don't have a great feel for what's normal for them and not.
I just think he's funny.
No, so I like all the guys. I love the NBNR guys.
I can't wait for this.
I just need them to lock in on pro ball a little bit more. So
you will be going through the grinder.
Oh, I'm not even worried about it.
No.
I've been on with them before.
Yeah. And they're capable of being cool. Like they were cool with Jess.
Yeah. They're not going to be cool with me.
And she's capable, like, and she's like, what am I getting myself into? And I was like, oh, no, you'll be fine. Like, I mean.
No, they're good guys. They're good guys.
They can push the envelope, but they pick and choose.
David says, got to take that ayahuasca to think Rodgers is better.
Do you need to be in the dark for ayahuasca?
I don't know. That's the other kind of Indians.
Hey, by the way, out of the current teams,
isn't that like a Native American deal, the ayahuasca? I think that's part of their. I don't know if my kind of Indian has like a signature drug.
Don't answer me like that.
What? What'd I do?
You were so serious.
Oh, Amazing Daniel says it might be South American. My bad. I might have misattributed there. I thought it was a Native American thing.
You were so foul.
What? That was an honest mistake. Honest mistake. Although there are, South America is technically an America, so there could be Native Americans in South America.
DJ said it's from the Amazon,
which is in South America.
I think Justin is low-key nuts. I ride with him because he defends himself, but I think he's certifiable. You see him arguing here?
Yes. I'm just saying, South America,
JR is foolish.
Technically speaking, there would be Native Americans in South America as well, because that is in America, and I'm sure there are people who are native to that land. That's all I'm saying. Amazing Daniel says, there goes Ravi just lumping all brown people together again. No, I was trying to separate. I just misattributed. I was trying to help DB understand.
I can't believe.
I was trying to help DB.
My jaws hurt. It's fine.
You good?
Yeah.
But no, I don't do ayahuasca. That's not my thing. Or apparently the other Indians thing either. That's a South American deal. Apparently, the more you know. I feel like we should get the little rainbow. The more you know.
No.
No?
Freaking bats.
I'm done.
Like LeVar Burton reading Rainbow?
I'm done. By the way, do you want to drive me to Fairfield tomorrow?
No. No, I don't. I was trying to see if that was a serious question.
I know.
I know.
I'm dead serious.
Darn well that you would absolutely. Hold on. How far is Omaha to? I don't even know where Fairfield is.
It's 2 hours.
Iowa or Nebraska?
Nebraska.
I don't know. I just started Googling Omaha to Fairfield.
It's 2 hours.
So we're like down by Hastings almost.
Yeah.
No, that's too far. No, I'm not
Ain't
doing.
too bad.
I'm not gonna do that. I got stuff going on tomorrow.
He said, no.
No, I'm good.
You're the worst.
Oh, you could take a train. It would only take you 3 hours.
No.
You're not a big train guy? Planes, trains, automobiles?
There's some things about trains that interest me. Like
Now-
if I could get the right one.
Now, trains are an Indian thing. They have a lot of trains in India.
I know I've seen Ghost in the Darkness.
I don't know what that is. I thought you were going to say Slumdog Millionaire.
That's a
and I was
Salt
like,
Lake movie.
Ghost in the Darkness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is not an accurate depiction of what all of India is like. I just want you to make sure you know that.
I think the film is shot in India.
No, that's fair. I'm just saying, like, there's different.
And there's a lot of trains.
Like, you
so
know.
I assume.
No, it's in Africa.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
My bad. I'm confusing brown people.
Now who's lumping all brown people together?
Well, you know, lions, tigers. I got them confused. It wasn't the
Bears, oh my.
He did.
There's not a brown person in that movie.
He did put that trap together for a tiger in India.
Thank you.
So he did.
Thank
he
you.
mentioned it.
That's what I was trying to bail myself out.
He mentioned India, so you're like, oh, it must be in India.
The scene opens with him dealing with tigers in India. Sorry.
You got any picks for today?
Yes.
What do we got?
I lock it up.
Lock it up?
I mean, big fat master lock, not the one that Reacher had to weld shut on the truck.
You're the only one that understands that reference.
Villanova, baby.
Big Kyle Neptune guy.
Hosting Marquetti, catching 1.5.
You just want the money line at 1.5?
I'll take them both. Double your pleasure, double your fun.
Things nobody's ever said to Kyle Neptune. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. That's Bet On It. We've got Matt Vrzal coming up next. What could go wrong? Wrapping up the show and wrapping up the week as we always do here on Hurrdat Sports Live with our guy Matt Vrzal, former Husker, owner of Piezon's Pizzeria. What's up, Verz?
Are we on the internet?
Machu Picchu, what's up, buddy?
I got a question. Are we just on the internet? Or are we on 590 still?
Bro, we're digital only.
We are on the internet only.
Why?
What's up, fuckers? How you doing?
I had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah. Oh, that felt good.
And he knows I hate to be referred to as that too. Like,
you'll be fine.
As opposed to most people who are like a big fan.
Well, he said, like, some people are cool with that. I'm like, don't call me that. I'm not.
Got an early one.
It's not what I am.
That's sad for you.
You kind of are.
Good morning, Matt.
Hi, boys.
How we doing?
I'm good. Surprisingly, like awake for a couple hours of sleep, but yeah, I don't know.
All right. So what's this? So with Scott on the cusp of winning another state title, what's the school doing? Right. Canada has the day off up there after what they did last night. What's the Scott lunch? What's that phenomenon like?
And how do you lose track of Connor McDavid in the slot?
Dude, who you telling?
I mean,
I think it was injuries and the line shuffling, man. And they blew a couple of opportunities.
And they were sloppy with the puck too.
Yeah.
That sucked. I was ready to talk so much shit. I couldn't believe it. All right. What is
it was so depressing because the open was fire, right? I was like, yeah. That, they got Herb Brooks and the scene from the movie and then the real locker room. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, damn. But unfortunately, I kind of feel like Canada's gonna win this thing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that is true. What does Scott do like after they win one?
Well, that's not going to be till tomorrow. What's up? How are they handling the lunch? Are people in school? Are they asking them to go down to the CHI? Like, what's the deal?
They had late start today, so they'll get out. What time's that session start?
I think it'll be around noon.
Yeah, so they'll have late start.
Late. You know, wrestling's never on time. It's his bad track.
True. But yeah, they'll let them out. Like I think you can call out by your parents if you want to go. And so if you do it. If you don't, you don't.
Are you guys running a couple of buses?
I don't know how they're doing that. I don't mess with Chaz a whole bunch. So he's kind of got his way that he does it. And I just take care of number one and don't step in number two.
I like that. It's my new life philosophy.
I've known this dude for 34 years, and I have never heard him say that.
That's not true.
I take care of number one
and don't step in number two.
Yep.
It's kind of
words you can live your life by, fellas.
Kind of good.
That's a pretty good one. I don't know if I like it more than.
I mean, it's pretty Anglo, but that's cool.
I don't know if I like it more than "Not My Pigs, Not My Farm."
How is that Anglo?
It's pretty good.
I've never heard anybody that looks like I've never heard it. So there you go. There you go.
If he hears a white person say something for the first time ever, it's apparently Anglo.
I did think of you yesterday. I asked off. We weren't even on air. It was after you had to get the audio right for 30 minutes. Yesterday. I go, so which is it? Is it Not My Farm, Not My Pig, or Not My Pig, Not My Farm?
Not My Pig, Not My Farm.
Okay. And what's the one you say?
So I like to say Not My Circus, Not My Monkeys.
Not My Pig. So that's
hey, I can't say that one.
Oh, knock it.
I'm taking a risk there.
Off. knock it off.
Not saying that one.
It's the internet, Verge. You can say whatever you want.
Would you stop? I mean, that's like a.
If you listen, if you set it on the tee, I'm gonna hit it.
Bikram yoga stretch.
I'm gonna hit it.
Killing two birds with one stone.
I was gonna say, why is it gotta be Bikram yoga, huh? Gotta go deep.
Now that's a stretch for the whole circus thing.
You need to evaluate yourself,
what
Damon.
You're doing. That's pretty passive aggressive.
What?
Bland.
Passive aggressive?
I can't say it. You just called me an effer.
Sure did. I got 3 texts right now said nailed it.
Super Dean Blandino. And here you go.
Oh, I mean, hey. They have those and they have animals at the circus. Some of the animals, they got. I don't want to go elephants because I don't want to go like too specific to my people.
Cereal.
Hey, what do we got to do to get all these achos off our TVs? They're very annoying.
All the what?
Achos.
Like a manual?
So do you know? Have I told you about my lack of affinity for them, or are you on the same train?
They are bad,
dude. I can't.
They are bad at their jobs.
The achos.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just keep it scrolling. I try not to deny anybody income, livelihood, but dude, it's hard.
It is.
They can go work somewhere else. Go get a different job.
What makes you think of that? Like what they say that made you mad?
Hey, dude, they're just too much. There's no good takes. There's no, they're like the Stephen A. Smith of commentating. Like they just try to get clicks. Hey, did you see my nephew take a header after he hit that yoke?
Oh yeah.
Guess who's got shirts made already?
Is Megan pissed? You can't.
Nope, she got one.
Oh, that fits.
Right.
Yeah. My son took a beaner. Bonk.
All in the family.
Well, the thing of it too is I kind of felt bad for him because you could tell he just wanted to do something meaningful, and he was going to get ready to jump to the moon. Like he was wound up and ready to plant. He went and his foot slipped out, and I was like, "Oh dear Lord," because I didn't see it till after. Like Katie texted me. She's like, "Max hit a bomb." I was like, "Seriously?" Because I wasn't watching because I was working, and so now I can't watch any games on TV because that's how superstitious I am. But then eventually, like all the film comes out.
Knock it off.
All the film comes out of it, and I'm like, "Oh man!" I was like, "Hey, nice celebration, dork." He was like, "Bro, the grass was slick." It was great.
He looks fantastic in his he looks. I mean, I'm a guy that could tote the mail out of the I formation. What's his real size?
He's about 6'1", 2. I think he's 210, 215.
I was going to say 210.
Yeah, they wanted him. He could. I think he's the second or third fastest on the team. Like he can move. We can't figure that one out. Like nobody can figure that one out.
Like where that came from in the gene pool?
Man. Now he's got the ginger traits, so you know it's like him and like Max or Ben and Megan. So you can't doubt that. So it can't be like a UPS guy or something. But yeah, he's fast.
Oh God.
We don't get it. Cash, easy correlation. Meaner than a snake, just like all of us.
Well, it starts with his mom.
I'll say that one lines up. That one.
Yeah, so I was the fill-in uncle at the Shrine Bowl Media Day.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there. Yeah, sitting there, we're hanging out, and Cash is doing this thing, and he gets interviewed by the local news station in Lincoln, and he did a great job. We may or may not have practiced, but he did a great job. And so Megan, they see the thing, and she goes, I got to talk to Cash. I'm like, what happened? Was it fly down? Like, what was the problem? And she was like, he didn't mention that his mom played in the Shrine Bowl. And I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, you did. You played in the soccer Shrine Bowl. It's like, congratulations on that.
I'm trying to figure out where the frames came from.
Dude's pretty wide.
Like,
and he's wide.
And now he could hit. Like, I'll give him that, but I just the frames are spectacular.
Yeah. Max has had real wicked hand-eye coordination from the time he was like little. I think I've told the story on here. Like I was Uncle Daycare and we're watching golf. It's like a Sunday and he's little. And he's like, I golf. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. You can golf. It's a free world. Do whatever you need to. I golf now. I'm like, all right, what? So he's got these little plastic clubs. So we set the plastic ball outside and he's got his little plastic club and he stands on the left side. It's like, oh, interesting. Here we go. He rears back and the neighbor was mowing the lawn and he smokes this thing. I mean, he smokes this and it just kind of gave the neighbor a flyby and the neighbor looked at me like I did it. And I just pointed at Max. I was like, wasn't me.
Weird.
So
the adult pointing to the kid like it's his fault. Yeah.
Shuts the mower off. Well, there's a set of clubs this big. Like I'm going to kneel down and swing. So he shuts the mower off and he goes,
knelt down for worse.
He goes, did he hit that? And I was like, yeah, he did. He goes, let's see if he can do it again. I'm like, oh yeah. So now me and the neighbor are just chucking balls in front of him. He's just smoking these things. In my mind, I'm like, I'm about to be a PGA Tour caddy. I was like, I'm going to be drinking and chewing, walking down the 18th fairway to Augusta with my left-handed nephew about to win a green jacket. I'm like, this is going to be awesome.
Hey, now full disclosure, if we had it to do over again and actually plan, how exciting would it be to go down to Lafayette this weekend?
Woo. It'd be warm.
I mean, wouldn't that be? We could eat well.
It'd be cool. Yeah, that's true. That is an excellent point. What would your go-to to be there when you got down there?
Good question. I would probably start with gumbo. And then I'm not going to eat the rice, but I want to, normally, a couple of months down the road, I'll get some jambalaya.
So I think I'd go jambalaya first.
Yeah, because you like probably a little more hearty.
Yeah, I'm a jambalaya.
Yeah. Then get a little gator, a little fried gator.
Yeah, I'd get some gator balls.
Little
or something
gator
like
bites?
That. Yeah. I would do that. So the first time we ever had those was, remember when Mike Grant turned us on to it at the bowl game.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I wondered if you remember that.
Off the menu?
Yeah.
Dude, it was outstanding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was really
if you
good.
cook it right, it's not even really gamey or anything.
No, it was really good. They look like big chicken balls.
Yeah, I'll mess around with some gator.
By the way,
I bet there's some sweet crawfish boils going on at them tailgates too.
Yeah, so I get it. They're good, but too much work. Too much work
for not enough meat.
Yeah.
I didn't say you had to do it. We're just going to consume.
Sorry, man. Hey, how cool was it to see Mike G at the funeral?
Yeah, it was good to see him. He looked good.
Yeah, he
real
did.
good.
So Mike Grant was at Calvin's funeral, as was Dante Jones. Who was by far and away the best dressed.
Is Mike still around? Around here?
He's in Wyoming.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dante might have went into Mike Rozier's closet and got that suit.
Yeah, he looked sharp. My man had the fedora and kind
The
of
window pane on window pane.
You know what's
Like,
funny?
he was-
As soon as you said Rozier, I thought hat. I was like, he must have been wearing a hat.
yeah,
For
he
sure.
looked sharp.
He did.
So he got out of education. He's doing a security company now. He's got a security company.
Dante is?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That guy was a freak.
Yes.
That guy was
So
a
we had
freak.
just, it was funny seeing him at the funeral because we just brought him up a couple weeks ago, Ravi and I, about being able to cheer for other guys that play your position. And, I called you on the phone that day.
Yeah.
And I was talking about like Tomich and Wistrom and having all those good ends and stuff. Like Dante was in that discussion, and then we just saw him at the funeral.
How's this for a combo too? Like bastard on the field, like great football player. But wasn't he like an 800-meter champion in Maryland?
Elite level. Remember how he used to dust us off in those gassers? And
Dude.
Oh no.
down, back, right? So we get down, Dante's halfway back, and then as you're finishing your down and back, he's touching the third line to come home. He was a genetic freak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two of them, him and Dwayne. I've never seen a person stronger than Dwayne Harris.
Oh, who
in
was
my life.
who was sitting right behind me at the funeral as well. How about the handshake?
Yeah. You got to go like this. You got to do two.
I think pinky to thumb, he's got to be close to a foot.
It's huge.
Some of these little quarterbacks are like 9 3/4 or
some of them are sub
10.
9. Yeah,
that's like he's got to be in the 12s. Matt, so what's on the schedule? Are you open in the lobby or no?
Nope, we won't have the dining room open at 3. We just got mass chaos with the lunch delivery, so I just do that. I don't want to piss anybody off. It's just because the lunch sit down just takes longer.
Because that's been something that affects your decision making, whether you make people mad or not. Not.
We'll see on Friday. I get a lot of like valued customers that come in. Like, I got one guy that bitches at me because I don't have lemons, and he's pissed because he can't come in on Friday. I was like, listen, if you want to buy 160 pizzas, I will gladly. You can come in. You come in all day. I'll plant a lemon tree for you.
Do I know this customer?
No, you don't. He's a great guy though, and now we got a good running joke. Him and his buddy came in and ate lunch the other day, and I added a $12 fee for a lemon on there.
Just to see if he's looking at the receipt?
Yep, just to see if he looked. I went back in the kitchen, came around the corner, they're both laughing. Yeah, it was great.
I lucked out the other day. I went in on a Friday on a whim a couple weeks ago, and they were open. I was happy.
For lunch?
Yeah. I think he told me, he's like, hey, your boy's here.
Yeah, when Evan was in town, we went in there.
Oh, yeah, that Illinois guy?
Yep.
Hey, that's a good dude right there, Matty. Much better than Ravi.
He lost that day, too.
The night before, but yes. Yeah.
Oh, that was
whatever.
Took an L.
He did take the L. That's all right.
Loss is a loss.
He's good-natured. It's all right. Yeah. Verz, we appreciate it as always. Enjoy your weekend.
Boys, be good. We'll see you fuckers next week.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. That's Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be back on Monday.
This time we know for sure.
Have a good weekend, everybody.